Charles, where was that one at? Cortland, Ohio?
Yeah, Cortland, Ohio, and we're a little unsure if the year was 85 or 88, but regardless, I mean, look at the crowd in that stands.
I know.
That grandstand's still there. Remarkable.
Yeah, Danny's not on the show yet, but Charles just uploaded a bunch of videos, so I just clipped on quick. Hi, Cody. Hi, Doug. So I just wanted to do that. So. Here we go. Where did you get pedal pulling video of that guy?
Well, it came from Danny himself. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's right from him.
He should be jumping on any minute. I'm just keep flipping through these videos.
Danny Schmucker.
Hey, the green flag's out. The green paint's on the sled. We're motoring a sled. The National Tractor Pulling Championship. Let's wait to make sure everything's okay. I'll wait for the official word from our tech man. Here we go, though. Danny Schmucker. All right, mate. How about it, crew? What do you say? They tell me you.
Okay, guys, I'm texting Danny right now. Charles, will you and Ryan and Doug and Cody open up? I'm going to help Danny get on, okay?
Yep. See you guys.
All right, welcome to Let's Go Pulling for the last week of 2022, and we're going to be joined momentarily by our NTPA Grand National Pro Stock Champion, Danny Schmucker, the Rampage team out of Louisville, Ohio, and we do have some pedal pull footage of him early 1990s, so we can embarrass him properly once he gets on the program, and really go through the family. They have a long history in pro stock dating back to the early 1980s, and even beyond that. I didn't actually develop any kind of a direct relationship with Danny through the pro stock. It came through the antique side, because that's where they also participate with a really badass John Deere G. So looking forward to talking to those guys about their life in the sport and what their experiences have been, and how they got into where they are now. But in the meantime, before we get him on, been kind of quiet, kind of a sad couple of days since we last spoke. Hope everybody's had a good Christmas, but we've definitely lost some people that matter to us in this sport in the last couple of days, and that's it's hanging over me. I don't know about anybody else, but I think about it. Don't everybody talk at once.
I'm oblivious, so I don't know what happened, I guess.
We had to say goodbye to Tom Miller, who used to own the Miller Time Light Pro out of Ohio. That one kind of hits. the tractor's not, as I know it, entered for Shipshawana for 2023, but it was there at 2022. He was there with it. Didn't get the opportunity to chat with him. Besides him, you know, in my personal life, everything kind of tracks real close with drag racing as well. And the name Jerry Ekman out of Pro Stock would resonate. The Pennzoil Firebird. He was 80. He passed away too over the weekend. So kind of a difficult one.
It's Jason now.
But be that as it may, life goes on, and we'll make new memories with those who are still here, and we'll cherish all of those memories as well. We got a season starting off here in a couple of weeks. Lexington, Kentucky is coming up in 2 weeks. Shipshawana in, well, less than 2. Shipshawana less than 3. And I think the lineups are getting close. If you're interested, there is a wintertime fantasy series that Gordon Cox is putting on through his page. It is on the pulloff.com, and I think that's where the links are to actually get into on this deal. You've got until, I think, like the day before the event starts to contribute or make your picks. It's done through Google spreadsheets, so it's going to be something kind of cool. I know we talked about on our end doing something for Ship and I think for Farm Show when the time comes that Brent will be spearheading for our own channel, but Gordon's deal is going to run through all the events across the entire winter. I think he's doing that as a standalone series and not as what he does in the summertime where it goes on for whatever 20-25 weeks through the summer events. So that's something kind of cool if you want to get involved in that. I think he even said for the winter series, like there's no prize, you just get bragging rights. That'll do you. But it's one way to get involved and have a little fun with the wintertime pulling.
So we just need Danny to unmute his mic, and then we can talk to the NTPA Grand National Pro Stock champions.
All right.
Hey!
Finally. Sorry, guys. I was trying to log on to my iPad, and for some reason it don't want to work.
No, it's awesome to have you on, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to Let's Grow Pulling Live. It's December 26th. Charles did an opening there. We talked about it was Tom Miller, right, that passed away with the Light Pro, Charles?
Yes.
So with the Miller Time Light Pro Stock, I saw some posts about that this weekend. I didn't personally know him, but anybody in the pulling family, anybody that's crazy enough to do this, we have to have a lot of love for them, and thank you for that. So, Danny, we got Cody Vanderholm up there in your upper right corner. Of course, you're down there in the bottom left. Ryan Rusink in the bottom middle left. You would know Ryan from Louisville and Rockwell. Hutchinson, Doug Borth, who works with me, the Beer Money Pulling team on the bottom right, and Charles Poosh up there in the top left. So welcome to Let's Grow Pulling Live. Thank you for doing the show with us tonight. First of all, before we get into history and show your pedal tracking videos, which you were a badass pedal tracker, Schmucker, I'm not going to lie.
So Charles must have got my videos done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got through some.
Yeah. Well, there's lots more if you guys want more. There's tons of videos in my parents' basement, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
I'm just about done. I wanted to tell you I had everything done today, but I come to find out the first deck I had botched some of them, so I'm rerunning them. I will have these done this week for you and on their way back to you, and we can do round 2 whenever you're ready.
Okay, that sounds great. I told my dad last night that's his Christmas gift, so that'd be pretty cool to sit down and watch some of them and reminisce. I'm sure there's some great ones on there. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, I got it ready for you.
Well, Charles, Charles, we got to play a couple of videos for Danny. Welcome, everybody. Danny Schmucker's live with us, your 2022 NTPA Grand National Champion and past champion as well, but most recently this year. What video should I play there, Charles?
Well, you throw them up there. Let it fly.
Okay, let's go 1990. Is it Croton? Am I saying that?
Hey, the green flag's out. The green paint's on the sled. We're motoring.
91 Bowling Green, Danny.
Let's wait to make sure everything's okay. I'll wait for the official word from our tech man. Here we go, though. Kevin Schmucker. How about it, crew? What do you say? They tell me you pull tractors over there, too. Is that right? Yes, we do.
So this next one is 1985, Cortland, Ohio. Look at the grandstands, you guys. This is gigantic.
Danny Schmucker, bring her down. John Deere 4430.
And this is an exclusive to Let's Grow Pole in 1991. Danny Schmucker on his pedal tractor. And Schmucker, we're sure that people still cheer for you today, but you just can't hear them over that big pro stock charger. So
Yeah, that had to be at Bowling Green, the pedal pull. That
Yeah,
was
awesome.
a long time ago. I didn't know that was on some of the videos I sent you. I'm sure we're gonna see some stuff on there that really gonna bring back memories.
Definitely,
That's
there
kinda what-
is.
Yeah. Danny, before we get started too much, I'm just gonna put some photos on the screen and tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, are you ready?
Okay, yep. Dover, Ohio, probably about 10, 15 years ago. That's my John Deere A. I bought that when I was about 14. Actually, I still have that tractor. It's sitting there for years. We need to get it running because my kids and my buddies' boys want to start pulling here one of these days, so we'll get them on there.
That's actually how I got to know you, was through that A, not so much even the pro stock. That's where you and I met, was that thing.
Yep, I've met a lot of great people pulling tractors. We still try to go and pull them once in a while, but we just don't have the time. But it's still fun. And a lot of great people in the antique world. Had a lot of fun with met a lot of great friends doing that. That's got to be Rockwell last year. That's
Well
that.
done. Yep, I said you're spot on. Again, we're just we're flashing some pictures of Rampage and Danny Schmucker up on the screen. Ask your questions away. Please put them in the comments. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of us here at Let's Grow Pulling. We're happy to have you here. Let's see here. What year was this?
That was last year because that's when we've got the 8-inch black pipe. We always had chrome before that, and we decided to be a little bit different and go with the black stack indoors.
The Black Stack Mafia, I think, is what we should
Oh
call
yeah,
it.
yep. It was
like
different. It looked cool.
I like it. I like it.
Rockwell.
That's Rockwell. Yep. Bruce, right?
That's right
That's
before
the
the
la- That's the last machine that went down the track before Mother Nature opened up on us.
yeah.
And I still don't know why you made that pass.
Well, I was second hook and test hook wasn't up at the track yet. And the competition director said we're starting the class, and I kind of wondered why, but I hated to be that guy to drop and, kind of screw the next guy in line. So that's the card you're drawn, so you take it and run with it.
I remember who was supposed to be
Attaboy.
test hook in that class, and I think they shoved it in the trailer.
Yeah, we all should have, but hey, it worked out. I mean, we made a long run that night. It was probably hard on things, but it was a lot of fun and put on a good show for the people, for the ones that paid to get in and had to go home early, with only getting to see a couple of classes.
Ryan, what year is this, Bruce?
2020. 2021.
Okay.
Rockwell again.
Yep.
Yep.
We like going to Rockwell. It's 800 miles from home, but it's a great pull, and we look forward to going every year. It's one of the best. That's why it was Grand National Pull of the Year again.
Bingo. Bingo.
Yeah,
Here's
we
another
love having
Louisville,
you guys.
another Louisville shot. What year? Can you recognize this one, Danny?
Yeah. That's got to be every bit of 10, 12 years ago. That's been a while.
I feel.
I wanna say 2010, 12, something like that, probably.
Okay, fair enough. And then this is the black stack. We've already put this one up here, right? Yep.
Last year. Yep.
How'd you finish last year?
At Louisville,
Yeah,
we got first Saturday afternoon and second in the finals.
awesome. Who
And
won the finals last year, Danny?
RJ Simon.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Guy hardly ever drives a pro stock and comes out and spanks them. So
Yeah. Yep. He made us all look silly that night. He did a great job.
what session do you? What's your qualifying session this year for you and Dad?
Dad pulls on Friday night, and I pull on Saturday afternoon. That's normally where we pull. It works out well for our team. That way our families get to come watch, not have to spend the whole week there.
Yep. Understood. And then this would be Charles. This is one of your picks. Is that ship?
It is ship.
Okay, so this would have been
2020.
Okay.
The NTPA hook, not
Yep.
Midwest.
Yep. No, I knew that because we don't have pro stocks with that one. I see the Mac trailer sign and Angry Farmer there.
Yeah, that had to be 21 at Chippewa. Man, all these pictures you guys are showing me, this guy needs to learn how to put some weight on the front of his tractor, doesn't he? Makes for
Ryan
good
Bruce-
photos.
No, it makes for a better picture. Keep that.
Ryan
does.
Bruce says it best. Those pictures, less weight makes better pictures.
There, you got a picture of the chrome stack and the black stack. Which one you like better?
I
Black.
like the black stack.
Black.
I'm gonna say 8-inch, and I don't care what color it is because it sounds better.
Yeah, it sure does. Yep.
Agreed.
It's a little on and off though.
Where's this at, guys?
Boy, I don't.
That is your pass at Enderley this year.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Didn't recognize that one. That was another good.
Well, here we got some video from you from Sandwich this year. I got to play this quick because it was weighted absolutely perfect in Sandwich. I think it was Saturday night, but it was money. We got pulled off to the right. That right line one down there. Where's that video at? Hold on. But it was weighted perfect. Right here we go. That was perfection, Danny, right there. That last pass was perfection. So, did we lose you, Danny? Are you still there, bud?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. Well, can you start at the beginning for us? We like to tell the whole story. Of course, your dad's Kevin Schmucker, and he drives Get Her Done, but he drove Rampage for years. Can you kind of tell us how this all got started with your dad? And did your dad have a dad that was a tractor puller? What is the Schmucker family history?
Well, playing the
Oops.
farm stock. And 4430. No more than a pound.
Hey, Danny, how many bars do you have right now on your phone, Danny? Where are you at? Because you're breaking up. Is there another part of the shop or the house you can move into? We want to hear everything you're saying.
Yep.
Sorry. Is it getting any better for you, Danny? The bars?
About now.
Yeah, talk for a little bit, and we'll tell you if it sounds good. Yeah.
Dad started pulling pro stock in 1981, 4430, and pulled that for probably 25 years. We sold that in 2005. We built our first component tractor, 7920. We pulled it off, and I started driving about 2004. Drove the cast tractor a few times. We bought Get Her Done in 2011 from Brian Schrammick. We used to help him a few years running it, going to some polls, and we ended up just purchasing it and taking it along. His dad always said I'd never let him drive anymore, so we had to buy a second tractor. But, we've been doing that for 10 years. We've been running. We used to run a lot of the Ohio State circuit and some Grand National. We started Grand National in the late 2000s, and really liked it. Did well. We've kind of stuck with that ever since. We still try to get to a couple state polls, regional polls when time allows. We'd like to go to a few Champions Tour events, but you guys know as well as I do, when you follow a point series, it's hard to go to other stuff. You know, we're busy. I think 10 or 11 weekends in the summer, so there's not too many free weekends to get away and go other places. But one of these years, we're gonna not follow points, and we're gonna bounce around a little bit and try some different stuff.
That'd be fun. If you're just joining us, Danny Schmucker, your 2022 NTPA Grand National Postdoc Champion, is joining us live. I think he's in the shop right now. We're just kind of talking about his polling history right now. If you have any questions for Danny or any memories like that, please type them into the comments. Colin Burkholt says, your Friday night pass at Toma was a top 5 moment I've ever seen. Fist pumping coming off the track with your dad doing the same following you. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that was really neat. Kind of a walk-off win Friday night at Toma. At that time in the season, nobody had beat the Simons yet, and they were leading at the time. And it's kind of cool to be the first ones to get by them guys this year. They're great. They're good competitors and good friends of ours. And it's our class is a lot of fun pulling. But that was probably one of our best runs of 2022. And there was a lot of good ones, but that was one of the best.
That's awesome. Doug,
Good,
Charles.
good information, because I had one tape from you guys that was unlabeled, and I wasn't sure what year it was, but based on what you just told me, I think it's 05, because it would have been the first year you guys had the component. So
Yeah, we built.
yeah, that helped.
A half a season that year. We had to sit part of it out because the tractor wasn't done. But, that's when the component was built, and we haven't really done a whole lot to it since. The chassis has had a few adjustments, but it's pretty much it's pretty much the same as it was in 05 when we built it, minus some minor things on the chassis.
When did you get into the antique side of things then too?
I was probably 11 or 12 at our local Grange Fair and antique club. A friend of mine actually let me drive his tractor, and you can see in the background,
Yeah.
that G back there is one of the tractors I started on. It belonged to a close family friend of ours. And, at our wedding 5 years ago, he gave me the keys to that tractor and said, "You started on it, you get to keep it, and let your kids pull it someday. Take them out, let them have fun like you did." So it's actually sat in the corner for about since the wedding 5 years ago, and hasn't ran. And actually, we had some time in the last couple of weeks. We tweaked on it a little bit and got it running again. So maybe this summer we can take it out and my friends' boys can jump on it and have a little fun with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Gerbaugh's awake, you guys. So that we gotta put this up here. Serious Motorsports champions have come from Louisville. It's Louisville, right? Louisville, Ohio, Danny?
Yep.
Okay. Danny, you guys buddies with Mark Thomas, question mark?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's Mark's fault we got into this whole motorsports thing. My dad grew up drag racing with Mark. They go to the local drag strip and race their cars, and it's all Mark's fault. He started this whole motorsports mess. But they just live about a mile from us. We're good family friends, and Mark was a heck of a drag racer in his day. He keeps saying he'd like to build a mini rod or a two-wheel drive truck or something and get back out and make a little noise, but he hasn't done that yet.
Encourage him.
Yeah.
Danny, do you remember what was your first trip down the track on the Pro?
First time I ever drove was at Old Washington, Ohio in 2004. That was the old 4430. I'd pulled Super Farm a few times before that. The reason we picked that night, it was weeknight. There wasn't a lot of tractors there, and my mom wasn't there because she wouldn't have been too crazy that I was 18 years old and driving the tractor. So on the way home, Dad called Mom and said, we got, I don't know, I think I got fourth place that night that I drove. And she goes, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, you heard me right." So and that's where it all started. And,
2004. 2004. That's awesome.
Yep.
How many
You're not-
championships? How many?
You're not the only one with a story like that.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Someday,
Actually, Kyle Carlin and I have been talking about driving for years, and him and I both, we started the same night at the same pool.
did he tell his mom?
I believe she was there, so.
So Sydney Summers, who I'm sure you probably know or at least have heard of, she got on her dad's light super or light limited super. I forget what it was, but it was an alcohol tractor. It was an Oliver. Way back in the day, some small hook somewhere in Missouri. They didn't tell mom. And they tried to play it off like, it was just a regular night. Sydney went out and pulled the farm stock like she normally did. And mom wasn't having any of it because text messages. She got, Ken and Sydney got ratted out by probably 5 different text messages saying, "Holy crap, Sydney drove the big tractor tonight." And so Ken got kind of a tongue lashing when he got home and walked through the door.
Yeah.
They both had sworn, "We're not telling mom," but mom knew what was up.
Yeah, so you could get away with some things like that. All we could do back then was call and maybe send a text or two, but I think I'm not sure anybody had a camera on their phone yet.
Nope. No, we didn't. It was a better world.
Yeah. Yeah, sure was.
Again, if you're just joining us, Danny Schmucker live with us tonight on Let's Grow Polling. You can listen to this anytime as well in the future on iTunes and Spotify. Just search for Let's Grow Polling, put in the Danny Schmucker interview, and you can listen to this while you're working or just, driving down the road. It's another great way to enjoy our content. So if you have any questions for Danny, please type them into the comments. If you've been following him and his dad a long time, that'd be great. Danny, what are some earlier memories of watching Dad pulling? And I saw how excited you got on the pedal tractor. What are I don't know, just growing up as a kid. This is why pulling means so much to me, is because of my relationship with my dad and watching my dad pull. Talk about some of those early memories watching your dad pull as well, and what that means to your family.
It's meant a lot to our family growing up around this stuff. We met a lot of great people. A lot of our friends tractor pull. Probably one of the first memories I have pulling Louisville 1990. I remember Dad got 3rd place Saturday night, which back then Saturday night wasn't the finals. It was just another preliminary format. But I remember Dad, he was so excited. He'd been pulling there many years, and just to get in the top 3 and speak to Butch Krieger was awesome. And I was only 5 years old, but I remember that to this day.
That is good stuff. Now, you mentioned that you've been married 5 years. I know you have a couple kiddos. I follow you on Facebook. What? How old are your kids now?
Amelia's 3 and Andrew's 2.
Awesome.
So
Did they get any John Deere
stuff as much as their dad does? And my son, he's always playing tractor pull on the living room floor, and his favorite place to go is the shopping. He calls the farm shop. So every time we drive by, "Daddy, we stop at a shopping, work on tractors." He loves this stuff. He gets his little model pulling tractors. He lines them up and has to pull on the living room floor. He loves it.
Love it. Hayden McCoy, Danny, are you guys going to run any OSTPA hooks this coming year? I know you talked about it briefly. He might not have been on here.
Yeah, we try to go to a few when time allows. Like I said, if you follow a point series, we're gone every weekend. Hard to hit other stuff. Get your work done at home and keep your tractors going. People see these pros run down the track and they think we just sit in the seat and go, but the amount of maintenance and upkeep is tremendous. We spend every single night from June through September, whether it's adjusting valves, adjusting clutches, just little this, little that. That's not including fixing stuff. We try to go to some local pulls, and like I said, if we don't run points one of these years, we're gonna go to some different stuff and have a little fun.
Danny, how many championships, Grand National Championships, you and your dad have?
We have 4: 2011, 12, 14.
I'm going to put up on the. This is your guys' season. This is from the NTPA website. So basically, fans, I don't know if I can't zoom in on this anymore, unfortunately, but it gives a breakdown. Only one finish all year in the double digits, and you had 17th place in Bowling Green, but you still picked up 20 points. Is it 30 for first, 29 for second, 28 for third with the NTPA, Danny? How does the points go again?
Yeah, it's 30 for first, 29 for second, all the way down to 15th, and then everybody gets 15 after that. That Friday night Bowling Green pass was my fault. Everybody was running down the left side, and there was 4 in the pull off at the time, and nobody had been down the right, and I was eyeing it all night long. And I thought, you know what? There's one over there. I'm going to take it. Well, I put the sled clear on the right-hand side. Worked better than I thought it was going to, and we were way too light on the front. We actually finished better than we probably should have, but hey, you're at Bowling Green. Sometimes you got to roll the dice and go for the win. I mean, we're usually not afraid to.
Just running over your season. Start out Hutch on Friday night with the 4th, then Saturday night with the 2nd. Toma, there's that first place that you talked about, coming back to save the best for last. Then session 5, you got 2nd. Franklin, Indiana, you guys swept that. Chapel Hill, you went 4th and 3rd. Brandenburg, Kentucky, 1st and 2nd. Rockwell, 7th. And then Rockwell, we got rained out, of course. Then Napoleon, Ohio, no hook. And Bowling Green, we just talked about your 17th place. Then a 2nd place on Saturday night.
Yeah, we redeemed our little second night.
Yeah, you did. But you were first place at NTPA points. So that's good. And then Wellington, Ohio was a 7th. Canton, the 1st. On Friday night, Canton, Ohio, session 2 was a 4th. Sandwich, Illinois, 7th, and Sandwich, 4th. Coming into Sandwich, how close was it? Who was trying? What were the top 3 tractors? And how close were you guys heading into Canton and Sandwich, Danny?
Julia Connie was 2nd. She was about 15, 16 points back going into Canton. Gained a couple under the first night, but lost a couple the second night. They really came on strong at the end of the year. I mean, I think at one point we had a 22 or 23 point lead, but that little stumble at Wellington was kind of a wake up call that we needed to get our heads out of our butts and focus on finish off what we started. But they're a great team. I mean, you got to have your A game on every night when you pull against them guys. They're some of the best.
So your average finish was 3.9. Oh, Dunlap, I love that guy. 18 appearances, 5 wins, 14 top 5, 17 top 10s. That's how you win a Grand National Championship, Mr. Schmucker. That is awesome. So,
yeah, it was a great year. I mean, that tractor was just happy, and you guys may not believe this, but we put that engine together to go to the farm show, and the head was never off of it the whole season. We made it clear through the Enderley and a couple state pulls at the end of the year. It was just happy. I mean, we adjusted the valves, adjusted the clutch, just it was happy. Now I'm sure we may pay for that next year. We've had our years where we'd put it together on Thursday night, and by the time we get home from the pull, the gasket sealing on the oil pan wasn't even dry yet when we were taking it back off. So we had those kind of years too. It's not all like 22 was, but it was a special year. Probably one of the best our team's ever had.
wow. That's
Danny, where did Dad finish this year?
He was 4th this year.
Okay.
Mike Connie was 3rd, and Dad was like 1 or 2 points behind 4th. His tractor did well. Friday night at Bowling Green, it made a heck of a pass the first time, and we broke an injector tip off of the pull off and burned a piston. We still ran it the second night wounded. Ended up like 21st out of 30 tractors, but we didn't have the parts to fix it at Bowling Green, and we ran it as is, and we did respectable with it. But his tractor's a little more temperamental. I mean, we always say the sun and the stars and the moon got to line up that day for that thing to win. And when that happens, it's as good as any tractor out there, but it's a little bit temperamental sometimes.
Wherever Travis Schlaubaugh is, he's saying, do not let the secret out of the bag what longevity is. There he is. Don't touch it.
I was waiting for Travis to jump in. So.
Hey, we don't run ours as hard as he does.
Well, when we have him on the show, he says the same thing, that he's just, it's, what's he say, Charles? About 180 pounds of boost. So
180. No, that you double that number.
no, I'm just
Yeah.
being funny. Sorry. So yeah, but you guys were you finished with 532 points. Mac Daddy finished with 520. Mac Nasty 492, and then your dad finished at 489. The Red Gambler at 455. Those are your top five. Lemke's came in there at 6, but they missed a few hooks. So looks like your dad won Chapel Hill Saturday night. Is that right?
What's that?
Did your dad win Chapel Hill one of the nights?
He got second on Saturday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he must have been.
I believe he was first place points because I think the tractor that got him was had a regional license and didn't count. So.
Yep. How does that work, Danny? Do you have to pre-commit to Grand National, and then you get Grand National points? How does that work for the fans and for me too? I don't even quite understand it.
When you sign up, like between now and June, you buy a regional license or a Grand National license, and you can only collect points at one level or another. You can't collect at regional and Grand National events. So if you can pull at anything, but it's more of a points thing. What says? Like your
Gotcha.
tractor at a Grand National pull, you're not counting points trade. First, go to regional pull, we don't count points.
Okay, so if you go to a state hook, you don't get like a Region 3 or Region 2. You don't want to be no Region 3 Pro Stock hooks. But if you went to a Region 2 hook with the Grand National license, you don't get any points. Just money. Okay.
Don't count the point trade. And next year, I don't think we can go to them because they put the 5-inch turbo rule in, so we'd have to make major changes to go to pulls. So I guess we're Grand National and state level only.
Yeah, you stay right where you are, Danny. We're happy. We're happy with you where you are.
We're open to. We like this class. I hate to see it be divided. I mean, the coolest thing about Pro Stock all these years is you could build a tractor and you could compete at Bowling Green. You could run at a state pull. You could run at a regional pull. You could go or Champions Tour, Grand National, Badger State. You could go anywhere you wanted. You know, it's kind of like two-wheel drive trucks. The rules are the same everywhere. And that was kind of nice. You know, now that we're starting to put those other turbo limits on, it's going to change that a little bit between 5-inch turbo and now there's tire limits for the Pro Stock. They're going to kind of divide it a little bit. I understand why they're doing it. The nice thing about Pro is you could build something, you could go anywhere you wanted and run the same set.
No,
It doesn't apply to you for what you're doing, but where do you think that 48 lug tire rule came from?
I guess it was always in the rule book for Super Farm. It was in the rule book for other divisions, but it was taken off about 5 years ago. There's some guys in our class running more than 48 bars. Do I think it helps? Maybe, maybe not. We have a set of each. Is that why we won the points this year? No, there's other things we did other than just the tires, but it's going to make it harder to sell used tires. I mean, we've always been pretty fortunate. We buy a new set of tires, we run them a year or two. They're nice and broken for Super Farm or Light Pro guys. Now that's going to hurt heavy Pro Stock because we're not going to have that outlet for used tires anymore.
In addition to the sizing thing, like with what you said about, so let's say you got a set that's cut more than 48 bars. How much carcass is left? Can you recut them down to the 48 limit, or is that off the table now?
You have to talk to the tire guy, but I believe once they shave them down and make them more than 48, I'm not sure you could go back to 48 because I don't think there'd be enough rubber left to make it happen. You'd have to ask the tire cutters. They know more than me, but
No, that's fair.
Did you answer Travis's question, Danny? Because sometimes we talk too much. Are you rebuilding before the farm show? Oops.
Yeah, we're gonna go through the tractor and freshen it up a little bit. It's got a lot of runs on it. It just needs freshened up. A lot of times we won't freshen before the farm show because we're more of a believer in going to the farm show with something that works other than trying new things. But it's time to freshen it up.
Yep. Can you talk about your motor program and who are kind of all your vendors that I know I heard you talk about at the NTPA banquet, but for those of people that weren't there or didn't watch it on the stream, who does your motor, who does your tires, kind of talk about your people that help you win championships.
All of our engine work by Riverside and Tiffin. Phil and Keith Shock, they do a great job. My dad's worked with them for probably 35 plus years since he started. And they're good friends of ours, and they do a great job. And the nice thing is we can be at their shop in 2 hours. It's close to here, so it works out good. Our fuel and air is Weimer Fuel Injection in Western Pennsylvania. Same thing there. I mean, we could be here in an hour and 20. So pretty fortunate where we live. If we break something, we can be there to get stuff fixed pretty quickly. Tires were cut by Nichols Tire down in Southeast Ohio. Tim and Josh Shipley Tractor, they help us with a little bit of dyno work and driveline. Engler Machine built our chassis. We got a great crew. Bill Brandt, Alan Brailer, brother-in-law Ron. You know, we got a lot of great friends around home that help us and look after the farm and help us get the tractors ready to go to the next event. I mean, one person can't do this. I mean, we around for it all your lives too. Take the whole team. Get the Dad and I are just get to sit in the throttle and pay the bill.
Cody, Doug, do you guys have any questions so far? You've been real chatty.
I want to know, when you started out your first pulling, what was the one track that you said this is the track I really want to pull on? What's the dream track when you started?
To me, it was Louisville. I mean, that place is special. I know it's a short track and it's cold, and to me, Louisville's that's by far our favorite event of the year. We look forward to it every year, and there's a lot of good ones. I mean, Bowling Green, Toma, Chapel Hill was always on our bucket list, and luckily we got to go there starting a few years ago. That's one thing about our class. We get to go pretty much everywhere, all the big events, and never change a thing. You have to go to the dyno and turbo setup or change this, change that, because the rules are different at these events for their class. But we can take the same thing and pull at Louisville or, you know, a Region 2 pull in our backyard. Well,
Doug, you got anything?
Not off the top of my head, I don't.
That's fine. Just checking. Danny, how'd you meet your wife?
At our county fair, she was in 4-H. We were at the fair, at the tractor pull on the weekend, and just met her and started talking there. And she had never been to a pull before until that year at our county fair. She came out to watch us, and I think she thought we were nuts. Some days I think she still thinks she enjoys it. She likes to go to the polls, and she's supportive of us. She helps a lot with t-shirts and making sure the kids are there and staying out of trouble. And you know, it's a family thing. We have a lot of fun.
Speaking of t-shirts, Danny, I've had two people text me while I've been sitting here. How do people get Rampage and Get Her Done Deer gear?
Just send me a message on Facebook.
Okay.
To my personal profile.
Perfect. Ed Evercamp, one of our fans that follows the shows. What's your biggest "why did I do that" moment, Danny? Also known as stepping on it. Why did
Probably on Friday night.
Well, I mean, he did win the points. He didn't have too many "why did I do that" moments if he won the Grand National points. He had a pretty good season. So.
We have nights where things don't quite expected, but I have to think about that for a minute. I'm sure there's some that
it'll come.
Why did I do that? He's trying to forget about those. You know what I mean? But
way to go, Ed. Bring it up.
You know, if you're winning every night and doing well, you need a good butt kick once in a while to open your eyes, and it just makes you better. It makes you do better.
Yep. What's your favorite beer to crack open after the poll? What's your favorite go-to cold beer?
Light, sure.
Busch Light?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Kevin King.
If we come to Wisconsin, it's Spotted Cow. Gotta get when we come to Wisconsin. Lemke's got us started on that a few years ago, so we have to.
I didn't know Lemke drank beer. I've never seen him drink beer before, Danny. He must hide that from me.
They'll have some. If they have a good night, they'll have a couple beers.
No, I'm just teasing. I was
You
just
know they like to hoop it up.
we were just
Oh, yeah.
down at PRI with them. It was a good time. That's all I'm going to say. It was a
Yes,
good
they
time.
are the whole bunch. They're a lot of fun.
Yep.
We've pulled against them for years, and a lot of times, for a long time there, if we weren't winning the points, he did. You know, we had a lot of fierce battles over the years, but they're great people, great friends of ours, and we enjoy hanging out with them also.
Kevin King is watching on YouTube, and he says, "Ask Danny about the regional poll of the year in Canton, Ohio." Is that the one you help promote?
Yep, that's the one. I'm on the fair board at Stark County Fair at Canton, and so is Kevin. He's on our board as well. We have a 2-day NTPA regional poll Labor Day weekend, and last year we were lucky enough to be voted regional poll of the year, which is kind of a really big honor for us. I mean, it may not mean a lot to some polls, but to us that was pretty neat. That was almost as cool as winning the Grand National points to me. That was kind of the goal we've had for many years. And a lot of people that have never promoted a poll have no idea the amount of work that goes into planning it. It's not one day. It's 365 days a year. You're thinking, how do you make it better for not only the pollers but the community?
And you were good enough to have us assist you in your marketing.
Yep. Guys, we'll talk. Thanks for your help.
There's this is from the banquet, so I was able to take that picture with my phone, Danny. So
Yep, that was pretty cool. I had no idea we were getting that. That was quite a shock. I wish I knew that I had more of our fair board there to accept it, but that was neat. We got a good bunch of people. Our committee is awesome. We got good people on it. We got a lot of community help, guys that bring their equipment, and donate money and their time, and just help with everything, whether it's parking, track grading, just everything. And last 2 years we've had 2 Grand National classes, light pro light super stock and pro stock, and 3 regional classes, and so we're always looking to make it a little better. One of these years we'd like to have something that makes a little noise and take the streets of downtown a little bit, maybe. So we'll see.
Speaking from a photographer standpoint, that lighting looks fantastic.
Yeah, we had some grants from our commissioners and some local foundations about 7 years ago where we remodeled our grandstand. It cost like $600,000, but it's very nice. And it was built in the early 1930s, so it's vintage, but it's really nice, and it makes for great photos. Ask Adam Drott from Mad Pulling Photos. He's come every year for like the last 10, and we're fortunate to have him. He does a great job for us.
yeah, he's kind of the OG with those photography stuff. So he does an amazing job. Job. Do you have any good stories that you can embarrass Kevin about? Because he kind of, he's giving himself a shameless plug. We like to have a little fun with our friends, Danny.
Kevin King?
Yeah.
Well, last year he pulls in the light limited super stock class.
Okay.
So,
well, hold on. I didn't know that. What's his tractor called?
You'd have to ask him. They had
Charles?
I don't know. I'm actually unfamiliar with him. I was going to sarcastically call his tractor the Rule Breaker 9000 because that's what all light limited supers seem to be. So
they used to pull a tractor called Pale Rider in the light modified farm stock, but I'm not sure what they call their light limited super. It's a 570 cockshut.
Oh, man, after my own heart.
You have our attention now.
Yeah, all of a sudden we're all listening. All of a sudden,
they pulled for a few years. Last year was his first year to pull at our NTPA sanctioned pull. The year before he had a little under the weather, and they couldn't. So hopefully they tune it up this winter and can get some hardware next year at our event. Undecided.
Okay, Danny, I'm going to keep you wearing your promoter's hat for one more question at least. You mentioned that you've got a lot of great help from the community. What's the secret to getting people to come back year after year after year to be that help? Because we hear from promoters all the time that, well, we can't find good help. We can't find any help. We can't even find bad help. What's the secret?
We try to make them all feel included. Right there. That's Kevin's tractor right there.
Yep. I did the Google search. You should be proud of me, Schmucker.
Yeah. Yep. They pull that in the light limited super stock class now.
This
What
was
helps
5 years ago. So
What helps
Oh,
our
that's
events?
tri-state days looking there.
yeah, it says 2016. Charles on YouTube is where I found that.
Yeah,
But sorry,
because
Danny.
as Ed Gortner, that's tri-state when with the open RPM NA stuff.
NA Superstock Tractors Summit County Fair. Sorry, Danny. Once you give us off segment, you got to chase the squirrels for a bit.
What's he running for an engine? Is it what's in that thing?
I believe it's a Hercules.
Okay.
That would make sense.
This is 10 years ago, 2012. Okay, Ryan. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah.
So making
Superstock
them
out
feel
there.
included. What else? I mean,
We make them feel
what does that
included.
mean?
We have a local county fair antique farm stock pull on Saturday morning. A lot of our help with that also pulls in those classes. So they're involved with the show. I don't know how to say it. We're fortunate. We have a lot of people. Our local sponsorships. I mean, Mac Trailer's been a big supporter of ours for many years. A lot of our farming community places, tire shops and co-ops sponsor us. Our local pullers. I mean, I think there's 7 heavy pro stocks right here within about 20 miles. So it's a
Kind of like
good
Farley,
local.
Iowa.
Yeah, well, I think Farley might have us beat by now, but there's
Okay, so I'm not throwing you under the bus, but your deck is a little bit more stacked than some pull in Podunk, Iowa. A little bit, maybe.
What's that? With help?
Yeah, well,
And
local sponsorship. I mean, if you got 7 pro stock owners, they're going to contribute.
Oh yeah. And
So
last year
Go
we
ahead.
added the super stocks. Carlins live in our county. They helped us a lot with getting help with that. Now, that was a nice addition. I mean, if you love tractor pulling, you got to love the light supers.
nothing like it.
Yep, sure. And pro stocks and like I said, one year at our pull we had 22 pro stocks on Friday. Other than Bowling Green, that was the most ever for all season. It was almost too many. I mean, it was cool to have that many, but took
Kevin
Did we all
says,
freeze?
Kevin says that cockshot's got a Hercules in it, so that means there must be a connection to the Rydals.
That's what I was thinking too.
Has to be.
yeah.
Kevin, if you're at Shipshawana, I want you to come and find us.
Yes, please.
I'm kind of
We
a hard
want-
guy to miss, and Charles will be on the mic all weekend. So
We
come up and say
definitely,
hi.
we definitely want to talk.
Yeah.
Danny, you going to come up and watch a session or two? Eat some pretzels?
No, if we can make it. Our Ohio Fair Managers Convention is that weekend, so we'll be attending that. But
Well,
you never
Clint
know.
will be sending a nasty gram to the Ohio Fair Board Convention, telling
It's
them
usually-
to reschedule their event for next year.
Well, it's usually the week before that, but this year they had an event that wanted to come in, and the fair convention got pushed back a week. So
To be perfectly fair, and I'm not 100% sure of this, you might have sent a nasty gram to the Michigan one on my behalf as well.
yep.
Kevin, Danny, what's the wildest ride you've ever taken? You ever have anything real memorable? One wheeler or?
Not that I remember. It's always been, knock on wood, I've been pretty fortunate over the years. Haven't had rough rides. Dad's had a few of them where we've broke stuff or had one of those "why did I do that" moments. But we've been pretty fortunate. Very. I mean, if you talk about wild rides, I mean we've ruined a couple engines along the way, and you wonder why did I do that? But it wasn't our fault.
Dustin Reeves is watching on YouTube, Danny, and he says, do you have any advice for young pullers starting?
Take advice from the older guys. I mean, they've done it forever. Well, my dad still references talking to Kenny Smith way back when he started in the Linders and Don Masterson. Take advice from them guys. When you see somebody like Ken Venny in the pit area, go talk to him and listen. You know, just because he pulled something totally different from what we're doing. I mean, advice like that he's helped me. You can't
What's
replace.
the best piece of advice anybody's ever given you? And I'm gonna stipulate this, not something Dad told you.
My first year pulling at the farm show, I was a little bit nervous, and anybody that's ever pulled there can agree with me. That place it'll make you a little scared. Kevin Masterson told me, calm down, it's just another tractor pull. You know what? You're right.
I can hear him saying that.
Just go calm.
I can 100% hear him saying that.
What are you worried about? It's just another pull.
Mm-hmm.
And that means a lot coming from a guy like him because he's pulled down there for as long as my dad has.
Danny's Antiques pullers are just as nice as Grand National pullers. Timothy would know. He's a big pulling fan. Did they put the Pro Stocks into Benson to the Glot pull? Did you remember that, Danny?
Not this year. Not that I know of.
I didn't think so. I know I talked about it briefly. Yeah. Here's a great picture of your dad that we got up in Hutchinson. I wanted to put this on the screen. This is pretty cool. Just sitting there.
Yeah.
That would have been, I think, Saturday afternoon or Friday afternoon. I don't remember for sure.
Yep. That's Scott to help Tim and Dad with the hutch. I didn't go that week. Home side dressing corn and finishing up spraying and stuff so I could go to Toma.
Yeah, that stuff. We obviously, you know, we want you to come, and we know you can't come to the Pullers Championship because of farming, but we really would. We try to have that as late in the year as we can before the big season starts, but it's so hard with farming. And honestly, a lot of the pro stock guys are farmers, big farmers, and it's hard to get, not hard, but we'd like to get, you know, the points champions there that we can. And that is a reminder to everybody who has been invited to the Pullers Championship. You need to have your registration done by the end of the year. Otherwise, you lose your spot, and it goes to the fan vote. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I meant to do that earlier in the show, and I did not do that.
Some year we'll try someday. It's kind of tough. We got a wedding the 1st of June we need to go to, and our season starts the next week. So
yep,
it's really busy, but it's cool what you guys. That's really neat.
We're trying hard. Farley is the first hook of the year for you guys, right? For Grand National.
Yeah, we've never been there before, so looking forward to it.
Oh, you're in for a treat, son.
It's a good one.
Come loaded for bear.
Yeah,
It's a good track.
that's what everybody said. Now, I'm sure if the Simons are involved, it'll be tough. They don't half-ass anything. So.
Nope.
No, they don't.
Nope. The one lasting thing that, and I've said this to both Brandon and RJ, is that as far as a legacy goes, nobody who's left a legacy made out of dirt like Brandon and RJ and Roger's final project together.
No, I agree.
Heard nothing but good things about Farley. Looking forward.
It's a great show. You're gonna love it. It's a neat place.
I watched it last year. I was side dressing corn, and I was watching it on Mav TV Plus on the iPad, going back and forth fertilizing our cornfields. So it looked
So that's why the rows weren't very straight.
no, yeah. Well, we got auto steer for that, so
There you go.
you can cheat a little bit. That's pretty neat.
If you started a build tomorrow, if you started a brand new build tomorrow, what class would it be for? What would you build for?
I don't know. We already pull in the best class in pulling.
That's fair.
I would have to say a modified. That fun. I'm sure we'd have a ton to learn. Looks like modified's a class where it's not all about making power and throwing it on the ground. It's about making it work. You know, look at a guy like Joe Eder with his experience, and you know his tractor just works. You know, and him and a lot of guys pull probably don't have horsepower, others do, but it looks like one. I've been around the Bowers before, and those guys work too hard.
There's a nice picture of both the Pro Stock sitting there up in Hutchinson, Minnesota. So if you're wondering, both tractors of the Schmucker family get her done. Kevin drives the tractor on the left. Danny drives the tractor on the right, and that is your tractor that won. Did you guys both have hole shots on this year, Danny?
Yep.
Okay.
That's a great tire. When that came out, the Pro Polar full pull was 15 feet better than the Firestone, and the hole shot's 15 feet better than the full pull for our class anyway.
Yeah, tires have really changed pulling. I mean, it's really coming down to a good set of tires now. So
For sure.
good.
Who's
stuff.
the intruder behind you?
That's my brother-in-law. He's working on his truck, and my phone's about dead, so he had to find me the charger. I wasn't planning on using my phone. I wanted to use my iPad, but for some reason, I didn't want to load on my iPad tonight. So,
Can we talk to your brother-in-law, Danny?
I don't know. He's pretty bashful.
Is he? Okay, because sometimes we're a lot of fun to talk to. So
He's not fun to talk to. I tried to get my dad to come over to the shop and join you guys tonight. He said he'd rather sit at home and he'd rather just watch. He don't like talking this kind of stuff sometimes. But maybe you got to get him some night. Say,
Mark my
Tell him to
words,
come
Kevin.
on.
We are coming for you.
that's right. Get him on
We're
here some
coming.
night.
I will stack the green room with more videos of Kevin.
There you go. Some
we'll
oldies.
get him. I'll get him at
You did,
Louisville.
Charles,
We'll
you didn't
interview
find
him
any
at the
videos
show.
on there from the old black side shield yellow wheel days, did you?
Oh yeah.
No,
no.
Started?
no.
I got yellow wheels.
It didn't go back that far. I definitely would have chopped it out because I would have caught it.
When he started it, the tractor was painted metal flake green with black side shields and orange lettering.
We'll save that for round 2.
Here
Yeah.
it is.
That'll be his intro when we get him on the show.
There you
Here's
go.
88. Here's 88 National Farm Machinery Show. And Kevin, I will get an interview with your dad, Danny, at the farm show this year. We'll pull him off to the side.
There you
Here's
go.
88
Get him on Friday afternoon, right before the pull. That's the best time.
Yeah, I bet.
That's the best time. That's when you need to get him.
When the nerves are shot and
Oh yeah.
How about
Yep.
we just plan on finding him when he's going to buy an ice cream cone for one of the grandkids?
There you go.
I
That'll
would
work.
rather have Kevin Schmucker like me. That would be my goal after this interview, and not dislike me.
I think that would be much better served if you were, over there footing the bill for ice cream.
Okay.
That or
there's
go
somebody-
find him after, that or go find him after he's hung out with Russell Hildebrand for a couple hours. That'd be a good interview too.
That
Will he
would be
sing?
no,
Will he sing?
those two together would be a good
Yeah.
interview. So.
Was the black side shields a foreshadowing for what Dale went on to do with the Massey being all black?
I don't know, but Dale did own that tractor before my dad did. It was owned by Dale Monreal out of Ravenna, Ohio. I don't know if you guys remember him. He pulled a Massey Ferguson called the Bandit.
Yep.
And they had a
It was
two-wheel drive called the Road Warrior. It was old 57 Chevy.
The Bandit
you
was
guys
a
remember-
topic of conversation in our private chat this afternoon.
Yep, Dale and Mike are still good friends of ours. They don't live too far from here, and they pull in the light limited super stock class
Yep.
now too.
Yeah, and they will be at SHIP.
Will they?
Yes.
Cool. I didn't know they were going there. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, him and Mark Thomas. That's the ones that started this whole mess around here. Dad pulled farm stock, and Dale ran into him at a county fair pull and said, "I hear you want to go faster." So that's when he set him up with the 4430 Pro Stock.
Nice.
And he'll tell you when he bought that tractor, he paid $8,500 for it without the rear tires. We pay more than that for a turbo.
Yes, twice as much.
You know,
I had the thought bubble to ask you, and I wasn't gonna, but wow.
Okay,
Yep.
here's 88
What's
Farm Show. Here's 88 Farm Show. We got to watch this video. I think this is Butch announcing.
Stand by, sir. Stand by right here. We have a gentleman from West Germany. We have a gentleman from Brazil and one from Switzerland. Those are the top three spots right now. We'll try to take the tie in a moment. Let's get back to the competition right now. On the starting line, Butch, back to you. Okay, Gary Rosinski on the starting line right here. Driving the tractor, Harold Green.
Okay, Butch had the name wrong, but that happens. It happens to the best of them down there. It's all good.
That's all right.
Good.
Whatever happened to the 4430?
It's actually in Western Pennsylvania. Jim Swantek owns it. He pulls Super Farm, and I think he's moving it up to a limited pro now. But it's still around. We still see it once in a while.
Cool.
What's it called?
Buck Up, I believe.
Buck Up. Okay.
Yep. He comes to Bowling Green once in a while with it,
Nice.
but mostly pulls Western Pennsylvania, like full pull productions and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, Shane, I heard Brazil and Switzerland. I'm guessing they're asking the fans the farthest distance they traveled to the farm show would be my guess with that question there, because that guy would sound like he was announcing there. So, yeah, Farley is NTPA Grand National this year, Tony. So June 7th and 8th, Doug, does that sound right?
Yeah, second week in June.
I can look up the calendar quick.
Yeah.
So.
That sounds about right. Because Esden Lemke's wedding's the first weekend in June, so we got a busy month of June.
June 9th and 10th.
We're gonna be tearing up I-80 in June.
Yeah, you will.
I still don't understand how Esden Lemke is old enough to be getting married.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Captain Babyface.
Yes.
Yep. If you ever been around him, he's a chip off the old block. He's just like his dad.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
It's a lot of fun.
He might be worse.
That's a compliment. That's a
Well,
compliment.
with that first name, I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the odds are stacked in your favor.
How many
Yeah,
kids are
but-
named?
but-
How many kids are named Esden because of Esden Lane? We know Esden Lemke. We know Esden Bartling. There's been a couple like fans we've done this with. There's a bunch. So,
Yeah.
Danny, are you named after anybody famous? Any famous Dannys out there?
Danny Dean.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That was my great grandpa's name, so I guess that's how I got it.
You could have
That
made up a
probably
better
trumps
story.
Danny Dean. 8 days a week.
Yeah. Schmucker, who's all your neighbors? And you said there's some pros close to you. We joke about Farley being the pro stock capital of the world, but I still think Ohio would be it'd be a cat fight if we threw you guys into a bag.
If you go about 12 miles east of here is Mike Connie's shop. There's two there, and then Carlton Cope don't live too far from there. Campbell Brothers used to pull Superline Express. They still have it. They haven't ran it in a few years.
They do. Okay.
That's close by. Carlin's that pulled a Bad Blood Light Super. They don't only live about 2 miles down the road. There's a couple 2-wheel drive trucks around. There's a lot of crazy people in this neck of the woods.
Sounds like you could have a heck of a shop party at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
We could. We keep saying every summer us and the Connie team say we're going to get together and have a shop party, but we always seem to be too busy to make it happen. So maybe we're going to try to arrange that here this winter.
Thank you for plugging your phone in. I swear the internet, your signal's gotten better since you plugged it in.
It
So I
did.
appreciate that.
yeah.
Good. I'm sorry it ain't stronger. I'm just trying to use the Wi-Fi.
Grand National Pro Stock champions don't have to apologize to us. Okay, you could sit there just with your hat on, Danny, if you wanted to. We'd be like, yes, sir, Danny Schmucker, yes, sir, yes, sir. So it's all good. It is all good. Let's see. I'm just kind of flipping through the comments. Doug, Cody, you guys got anything wrong off the top of your head for Mr. Schmucker? Ryan, Charles?
What's the most special win you've ever had on the track?
Most special
what one's
win.
meant the most?
Man, there's a lot of them. We've had a lot of big ones. We've been fortunate. Probably one of the coolest wins ever was in the summer of 2020. The Mac Trailer team put together a poll over here in Alliance, which would have been the same weekend as Bowling Green. And we hadn't been anywhere that year yet, and everybody was missing pulling. And we were only 10 minutes from home, and we won the first night. That was pretty special. I know it didn't mean a whole lot. It's not like winning Grand National points or Bowling Green, but that was cool. Toma Friday night last year was really neat. kind of walk off. I remember the night before we're watching the live feed in the shop, and Craig Corzine did that. I told him, my buddy Alan, I said, that'd be cool. I'm going to do that tomorrow night. I had no idea what the polling order was. And I was test hooked that Friday night, and they reset the sled on us, and then we dropped to last. That was a special one. My first time polling at the farm show, I won Friday night and Saturday night. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, that would be one for the record books.
And
Oh.
probably 2010 at Bowling Green, Dad won on Saturday night, and I won on Sunday. That was pretty special there.
Have you gotten a ring at Bowling Green?
Yeah, we've won 3 of them. Dad won in '98. We won one together in 2010, and then I won one in 14.
Nice.
What's it like pulling with your dad? I mean, I know what it's like sorting cows with my dad, so it's got to be better than that.
It's a little more fun than that. Sometimes it feels like sorting cows, but no, we got a great team, great relationship. Everybody said you guys fight. Well, not very often. I mean, we get along very well. We work together, pull together. I mean, we do everything together. I think this pulling thing keeps you close, keeps you humble, and we have a lot of fun. I mean, we're very fortunate, very blessed.
Yes, Blake, Danny still has his antique puller, and there's one sitting right behind him over his right shoulder.
Yeah, I was going to
as
say,
you
you
look
can
at it.
see one right over his left shoulder if you look real
There's a
hard.
G
Blake.
back there.
Danny, would it go start up right now if you went and fired it up?
I'd have to put gas in it. We just got it running, and the valve and the fuel tank leaks, so we had to drain it all back out the other night we got done. We started it up Friday night in the shop. And got the shop all fumed up and opened the door to let the fumes out. Well, that didn't last long because it was -6 outside. So I thought we'd rather smell gas fumes than freeze. I know -6 is nothing to you guys. -6, that's probably a daytime high in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's been dumb lately. It has been dumb.
With-
This is a great question.
Schultz, you're probably going back to the beach pretty soon, aren't you?
Uh,
Don't you live at the beach most of the time?
In the winter, I do. I try. I do my best. So
Well, go camp out at the Charlotte airport again. That was a lot of fun.
yeah, I was pretty neat. I'm cruising through, and when they shut down the Charlotte airport, all of a sudden I look over. He goes Schultz, and I said Schmucker, and we both slept in the Charlotte airport together that night.
Yep,
Not
that
together.
was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. Not together. He had his own room.
Yeah.
I had my own room, but it's all good. We slept on the floor next to the chapel. My wife and I did, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Way to not make it weird, Schultz.
Well, I do my best. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. I've behaved myself tonight, so it's all good.
You have.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is
I
actually.
remember the first time I met you at Gordyville.
Oh boy, there's
Yeah.
still a lot of
This guy's pretty wild.
That
That was fun. We went there once. That was a neat pull. A little chilly. But
a little chilly.
that was
Well,
that
that's
was
what
neat to go to.
I drank down there, Danny, to keep warm. That was the whole idea of it.
Yeah.
Was that
You know-
the reason?
I don't drink and announce anymore. It has not treated me well for my reputation.
No, I doubt it does.
Oh, this is a good question. And I'm not afraid to talk about my stupid butt. It's not about me. It's never about me. It's about Danny Schmucker. What was it like pulling the opposite direction at Freedom Hall for the Mack trailer thing last year or this past spring?
Oh, it was definitely different. You'd rather pull into a sand pile than if you went too far, you're going to go up the ramp.
Okay, I was wondering about that because we've talked about that.
It was definitely different, but it was cool. I mean, that was a neat pull. I hope Mike Coney does it again. There sounds like they're going to.
They're talking about it. I know, Danny.
If you didn't go last year, put it on your bucket list. It was an excellent event. I mean, anything Mike Coney has anything to do with is it's 110%. It was fun. I'd definitely go back if we get the chance.
Good deal. Andy Gerbaugh says, "Who's the one competitor that you fear? / love to beat the most? Who's been your biggest rival over the years, Danny?"
Biggest rival. Man. I'd have to say Robbie Lemke. We've had a lot of battles over the years. We pulled together a lot of times. We have a lot of fun. We love to beat him. He loves to beat us. But when the pull's over, we're drinking beer and having a good time.
No, that's so true. We hear that a
From
lot.
my dad, if you were asking my dad that question, he'd probably say Larry Shope.
Oh, wow. The Iron Dragon.
Yep. He was I remember the first time I ever pulled the component tractor. We were at a county fair at Randolph, about next county north of here. And I was supposed to drive that night. And Larry Shope pulls in. I thought, well, I'm fired. Dad goes, nope, you're going to drive. You're going to win. You got to beat the best.
That's awesome. Andy says, hell yeah.
Yeah, Larry was one of the best for sure.
Yeah. William Lumberg's watch on YouTube says, Danny, have you ever partied in the Pulltown USA campground at night? You ever been out there, Danny? Or?
No, never. Nope.
Never. I didn't think so.
No.
Not your thing.
Not a nice pro stock.
I hadn't even thought about it. Never even went back there. Do they have a campground at Bowling Green? I didn't know that. No, we got a group of friends that camp back there from around home here. And we always got to go back and visit with them a little bit. Take it all in.
It is an experience.
That's for sure.
Somebody up in the comments had mentioned Fool's Gold. How well do you guys know John Cespedes and that tractor and how much they've had to go through to keep it going is the only gas pro stock that's out there?
John don't live too far from us either. He only lives about 5 miles away. I forgot about him. He does well. I mean, for a guy that don't spend a lot of money on it, I mean, the tractor always goes down the track, looks respectable. He gets the most out of it every time. I mean, years ago, if you messed up, he was going to get you. You know, he was always right there.
Unique piece for sure.
Oh yeah, yep, for sure.
This is a good question. Wyatt Schulte wants to know, what do you feel is the biggest atmosphere outside of Louisville or Bowling Green with the fans, friends, and family and competition?
Biggest atmosphere.
Probably your hometown poll, right?
Yeah, we have a pretty good turnout there. That's one of the best. Atmosphere, I'd have to say Napoleon, Ohio.
Why?
It's like a little Bowling Green almost.
Yep.
If you ever been there, it's an atmosphere. It's really cool.
With what everybody has on the pit side with all the trailers and everything and the decks and the campers, yeah, they get into it. They party.
Yes, they do. And they pass out a trophy to whoever wins the contest for the coolest coolest, I don't know what they call it, coolest trailer, camper, truck. And they set up grain trucks and put like scaffolding in them, make seating out of it and stuff. It's really cool.
What's the date on that one? Is that close to
it's the weekend before Bowling Green.
Okay.
And it's the next county over, so it's real close.
Okay. That's because they used is that still a Grand National?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
because every year
Mike Tech puts that one on.
Okay.
Every year at Louisville, Don Slama asked us to come to Hillsboro, and I'd love to go some year, but we hate to miss Napoleon.
William Lungberg's watching on YouTube. He says, well, I got some Busch Latte for you this August, buddy, for your first night partying with us on Pulltown USA Campground Alley.
We'll be back there.
Sounds like William's ready to party.
Yeah, we'll be back there.
What else here? Big Johnson's just up the road, Josh Ryder says.
Yep. Can't forget about Ed.
That still
there's a lot of crazy people in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't forget about Ed Johnson.
This is something I've always wanted to do, Danny, because the Grand National Circuit for the most part is the same polls year after year. I'm gonna say a poll. I want you to tell me the first word that comes to the first thought, okay?
Yeah.
Hutchinson, Minnesota.
The mosquitoes will carry you away. No.
Toma, Wisconsin.
Great event. Ricky Rose and
this is fun. No, I mean, I know you love that event, but this is fun. Toma, Wisconsin. First thoughts. Toma.
If it rains, the track's going to be awesome. And it's going to rain. Doesn't matter when.
Franklin, Indiana.
We went over there once.
Yeah, I don't remember that being a Grand National poll. I'm reading off last year.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. They swept it. They have good thoughts about it.
Yeah.
They have good thoughts about it. Yeah. That's at Chapel Hill, Tennessee.
It's hot.
Brandenburg, Kentucky.
Not almost as hot as Chapel Hill.
What is Chapel Hill like? Like, if you get it right, you go right up in that cut. But if something goes wrong, you're going to fly up that hill and you're going to come back down to earth somewhere around Louisville. It's like a launch ramp coming out of there.
Yeah, they got a pretty good ramp on the starting line at Chapel Hill. That's always a good track, though. And it's always hot. I mean, one year we were down there, it was 102 degrees in the shade.
Jeez.
It's hot in southern Tennessee in August or in July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rockwell, Iowa.
Throw all your weights on the front and hope you got enough.
Napoleon, Ohio.
Bowling Green tune-up. More ways than one.
Bowling Green, Ohio.
Everything.
Check liver light.
Good time.
Wellington, Ohio.
Good track. Good crowd. Good promoters. And it's close to home.
Nice. Canton, Ohio.
The promoter can be hard to deal with at times, but it's always a good track.
That's honest.
That's honest. Sandwich, Illinois. Oh, he muted himself. There, Danny, Sandwich. Danny, hello? Schmucker?
Bring a good air filter? I don't know.
Danny Schmucker? He can't hear us. Can you turn it up a little bit, Danny? Can't hear you, Danny. Hello? He muted himself, but then he unmuted himself, but he's not muted anymore. Danny? Danny? He's muting. He's unmuting. Bueller. Penny. Schmucker.
Have him jump out and jump back in.
Yeah, I'll kick him out.
Well, let him know that he needs to jump back in.
He can hear.
Danny, if you can hear us, jump back in, okay?
Okay. We're gonna have Danny Schmucker right back, guys. We're gonna wrap it up here in a few minutes with him, but we've already gone an hour, 20 minutes with him. But what a great interview. He's very just honest and just lays it all out there. It's been a lot of fun talking to him tonight. I enjoy this. You guys, any of your questions for him, Cody or Charles or Roos? Doug had to get going. He was at the office. So.
He's been right there with everything I've been curious about.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll ask him.
Actually,
I do ask everybody.
I do have one other that I'm curious about, but if he gets back in here, I'll ask him.
Okay. Let me play. Let's go. I'm going to do 85 Cortland, Ohio again. I can't believe this crowd, you guys. This is insane. That's a gigantic grandstand.
Danny Schmucker, bring her down. Got near 44-30.
So, Charles, those are some of the videos that Danny sent you, and you're putting together for his dad?
Yeah, and actually, like that one in particular, the way the handwriting is on the tape, it looks like it's 85. It could be 88. We're not 100% sure. I actually need Danny to kind of confirm what year it was, but it doesn't matter. It's a state hook.
Yeah.
It has a crowd that big in the 80s. And people talk about, why was the 80s so great? Right there. That's why.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, that's Mark Ham says it best. That's a grandstand. That's insane. I mean, there's Division III, Division II college football games that don't have pulling stands that big. That was Cortland, Ohio. See, this is fun, Travis. Wonder how big the Charger was on the run back then.
Yeah,
I had that question too, Trav.
Kind of leading into the question that I was going to ask Danny if he gets back on. They all had whatever Charger it was back then, and at the end of the run, all of them chirped it. All of them. If you do that today, you're blowing that thing to the moon.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable the durability that was there because of the lack of size. And I'm sure at the time they thought they were pushing the boundaries and just right on the edge. And little did they know, 25 years later, we'd be bolting on 6.4s to make stuff happen.
Mike Miller thinks that's possibly Trumbull, Ohio.
It's definitely from Cortland, Ohio.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. Well, actually, that would be Trumbull County Fair. So, yes, he's right.
Okay, gotcha. The Ohio guys are starting to chatter in on some of those as we pull these off. I'm not sure if we're going to get Danny back or not. Here's 91 Bowling Green.
Make sure everything's okay. I'll wait for the word from our tech man. Here we go, though. Kevin Schmucker. How about it, crew? What do you say?
This is 87 Bowling Green. I'm playing next, guys. And then, hey, Dragway 42's checking in.
All right, watch the smoke. Now it's going to turn green. Water. Now, horsepower. Oh, he gave her a go. Now, red, hey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a nice round of applause. Kevin Schmucker.
My bad. Hey,
All right, watch the smoke. Now it's going to turn green. Water. Now, horsepower.
Sorry, Danny. I was playing some videos there. So,
am I back?
yep, we can hear you good.
Cool.
So your dad said that was probably, I said what year? I said 80. What did I say, Charles? 87 Bowling Green, and then Kevin commented maybe 85. Probably 85.
The way that it was written, it was a little bit on the way the handwriting was on
You
the
would
tape,
know.
it looked like 85, but it could have been 88. And the reason we're unsure is that within that class, John Lorenz is wearing a Kendall fire suit, and you would not have been able to get one of those as early as 85. They didn't give them out that soon. So we're not 100% sure what year it actually really was.
That's good.
We did get, if you go on the Messenger, we did find a photo, courtesy of Andy, the black side shield version of Rampage.
Yep, I'm doing it right now. What year would this have been with the black side shields, guys, you think?
Had to be early.
There?
Yep, we got you, Danny.
All right, cool. I didn't know if I was back or not.
Nope, you're back.
You're back.
It's from NFMS, and it had to be like early.
Yep, that's what I was talking about earlier.
Well, Kevin's watching.
That was
Your dad's
probably-
watching, Danny, so maybe he can let us know.
Probably
what year.
1985, 1987.
Okay.
Because Dad got in 85. He didn't get accepted in 86. He got accepted in 87, and we've pulled there every year since.
Wow.
Gotcha. So that helps narrow down that video from Cortland then. That would not be 85. That would be 88.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think he said they painted the tractor in 86 when they didn't get to go to the farm show. They painted. That's when it got the green side shields.
Okay, Dad
85,
says
yeah.
85. So
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. That's awesome. That's helping me with my project for you. So great. I love this.
Yeah, he got accepted in 87, and we've been there every year since 1987.
all right, fans, who's the 6030 parked behind it? That's what I want to know. That for everybody, all you historians.
Dad probably remembers.
Yeah, there's about a 15-second delay, Danny, so maybe you'll see it. Hey, Danny, how big were the Chargers back then? The turbos that you guys were running at Pro Stock in 85 and 87 in the 90s. Do you remember?
I was born in 84, Jason. Not very big.
Kevin Schmucker, how big was the turbos in 85 and 87? So we'll let Kevin answer that in a second. But that's one of the big questions tonight, Kevin. Is like, what sort of the size of some of the turbos in the videos we're showing Travis Schlaba was asking. Kevin Schmucker says that's Don Masterson behind him. That's cool.
I'm not sure that's right.
You're going to argue with Kevin Schmucker, Charles?
Yeah, I might. I don't know. Some of the frame rails doesn't seem right. Looks like it says Hillbilly or something on there. That wouldn't be River Rat.
Okay.
I don't know.
Nick Stepick thinks it might be one of Little's tractors. I can't make it any bigger, guys. Otherwise, I would. I'm sorry. This is why we need to get Kevin on the show.
That's right.
Why?
I tried to get him to join me tonight. He said he said they called you, not me.
He's
I don't
figured
have
out.
your dad.
He's
I don't
figured
think
out
I have
how
your
to
dad's cell phone number. I haven't met your dad at the Charlotte airport when the flights got canceled, so I don't think I have his cell phone number. I'll check.
Yeah.
Just send him a link through Facebook.
Like I said, catch up with him at Louisville Friday
I will.
afternoon about 4:00. It'd be a great time for an interview.
Again, I want your dad to like me and not dislike me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Morgan says either Tom Sherrill or Kevin Masterson. Terry Benson said could be the track builder guys. Yeah, could be. Okay, so the turbo was an Air Research T1895. Charles, what does that mean?
That's old school. I have no idea what size it is. Air Research got bought out, I think, by Garrett. Yeah, it's going back. And if you talk to anybody who was in diesel super stock in the early 80s, they all ran Air Research stuff. But that's they've been gone for a while.
So Gerbaugh's saying that's the spoiler, Tom Sherrill's spoiler behind.
I would agree with that. Tom Sherrill out of Noblesville, Indiana, the spoiler.
I just want you to know, Kevin Schmucker, I did not disagree with you. I'm just here for the party, okay? I just want to be clear about that. So just want to be clear about that. That's all good stuff. I'm going through the questions here and make sure I got everybody's questions I wanted to get on here tonight. So next up is Louisville, obviously, Danny, and then probably the farm show in March, if they put that together, the Mack Trailer Winter Nationals again.
Yep. Yeah, that's our plan for this winter.
Do they run? Are they running pros at Shipshewana for the NTPA this year?
They are. We haven't
Okay.
decided on that one yet. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to hit that one or not. We'll see. It's a great event, but it's.
Yeah,
we'll
Dan the man mayor says Tom Sherrill, so that's
he would know, right?
that is the nail in the coffin.
Yeah,
That
that guy's
is
like
nail.
the polling encyclopedia.
He is. Dan, do you have any question for Danny Schmucker? We'd love to hear, or maybe some trivia. Dan, go back.
There you
But Danny was just born in 1984, so we can't go too far back on him, right? So
That's like Dad will talk about somebody he pulled with when he started. He'll go, "Do you remember this guy?" Like Harold McQueen or something like that. I'll say, "Dad, no, I don't remember." Some of the first ones I remember is like John Lorenz and Sue Ellen Oswald, Lenders, Don Masterson. That's some of the people, the first ones I remember in pro stock.
those are good people to remember.
Yep, all of them.
Good people.
Charles,
to
are you
remember.
absent-mindedly spinning the wheel of a charger?
Fidget spinner, but for men.
I have weird friends, but that's all good. So don't hurt yourself, Charles. Don't hurt yourself on there.
It is kind of sharp on the edges, but not sharp like a good billet wheel would be.
That looks too small for pro stock.
It's a little small for pro stock. Maybe not in 1985, but now it
That's probably too big for 1985. Yeah. No,
Where did that
sometimes
come
we wish we
from?
could go back to some of them days. They had a lot of fun pulling back then. You look at them videos and you see the stands are full. You see pictures from the Ohio State Fair. It's 8:00 in the morning and it's standing room only.
Yeah.
That was cool to see crowds like that.
Terry Benson, do you remember Carl Smith and the Night Moves, Danny?
Yep. See him every year at the farm show. He sits near us.
That's awesome.
He was always a tough competitor.
Brian, these are a billet, or these are a cast 475 Borg wheel. And when somebody would want a billet wheel swap, we'd take these out.
There
Put
you go,
billet-
Jason.
I will not mess with you before you pull, though, Kevin. I promise you.
Oh yeah, he needs it. He needs it. Give him a hard time.
Not for me.
Get his
you know.
mind off of it and calm him down a little bit.
Buy him an ice cream cone.
There you go.
Yeah, I gotta save up for Louisville. That place is expensive to go to. So
Yeah, it sure is. But it's fun.
it's a blast. It's all worth
It
it.
sure is.
There's some
I
big,
keep coming
big
back.
announcements
I keep coming back to ice cream because one of your kids is like an ice cream freak, isn't it?
Oh yeah, my daughter. Every chance we get, we go for ice cream. She loves it.
I remembered seeing a Facebook post a long time ago, and I never kind of forgot it.
Yep. She's loved ice cream since she was 6 months old.
So what's her favorite flavor at the farm show?
She likes vanilla. That's her favorite.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yep. Every time I say, Amelia, you want to go for ice cream? Yeah. What kind do you want? Vanilla. She's pretty traditional.
I still owe Don Masterson a strawberry ice cream cone from the farm show in 2020 when I got sick with COVID. And I couldn't buy him one. Yeah. And come hell or high water, I will find a way to buy that man an ice cream cone before the good Lord calls either of us home.
Yep. He was there last year on Wednesday.
I know, and I
Came
couldn't
there for
get
a little
over to him. I tried so hard. I couldn't figure out where he was.
Yeah. That was good to see him. That's a great family. We enjoy pulling with them.
Yeah, I'm proud to call those guys friends, as are all of these guys who are sitting here yammering at you.
Mhm.
Yeah. The whole pro stock class. I mean, there's a lot of great people in it. You know, you all want to beat each other on the track, but when it's over, they'll share parts, you know, knowledge, help. You know, if you need a hand fixing something, you know, some of them guys are the first ones there to see if you need something or give you a part. I mean, any one of them.
Tell us a Rob Russell story.
Yeah, there we go.
Russell story? Well, he'll tell you how many weights you had on the front of your tractor at a pull 30 years ago. he'll know how many weights you had on the front of your tractor and how many he had on the front of his. And that guy.
Will he be able to tell you which ones were cast aluminum, though?
I'm sure he'll have some stories. He'll know whose house he stayed at that night and how many days he was away from the farm that summer, and what place he got and what gear he ran and what the temperature was that day.
And if he doesn't, Mark Ulmer will.
Yeah.
My memory's not that good, so I'm more power to those guys.
Yep. Rob Russell is as sharp as they get, man. He'll remind us of what we did at a poll 10 years ago. I'm like, how do you remember? I don't. That guy don't forget nothing.
What has been the horsepower progression from 80 to 90 to the O's to the 10s to the 20s? Can you answer that, Danny? Maybe not the 80s so much, but the 90s to the 2000s. Maybe your dad can pipe in.
I'd say today's pros got twice the power they had in 2000.
Okay.
If I had to get every bit of that. Because I know what some of us have gained in the last 7-8 years. And it's crazy. I mean, it's all fuel and air.
That was what I was going to ask. What's the biggest single or two factors that have done that?
Those two, fuel and air. You know, you got to be able to feed it and move it. I mean, a good pro is most of them are around probably 4,500 horse anymore.
Yeah, that's what we've been hearing.
You know, it's crazy. It's fun.
It's awesome to watch, Danny. It's awesome to watch.
If you ever get the chance to see one on a dyno, that's even better than watching it on the track. That is cool.
A lot of anger.
Even better, strap it into the seat. That's what's
yeah. Yep.
How far is Shipley's dyno from you, Danny?
About 20 minutes.
Road trip, Charles. Road trip.
If it was spoiler alert, if it was under 10, he was actually going to ask you to get in the truck and go over there.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I don't need an invite that hard. I'll go right now. You're
Kevin
3.5 from here. I'm ready to go.
Kevin's first pro stock in 1982 was about 800 horsepower. That's still awesome, though. If you think about that, what is that?
Yeah.
18. That's 40 years ago, guys.
Yep.
Kevin, was the ride still as much fun as it is today?
I know they didn't go straight back then without the spider gears. So, hey, what RPM roughly are you guys leaving a line at, Danny? Somebody wants to know.
About 5,000, 5,200. And they usually go a little higher than that once you get going. But they usually go down the track anywhere from 43 to 47.
Perfect.
Where they make their optimum horsepower.
He said, no, much better today.
Much better today. Yeah, that
I love it.
when you 6x the horsepower, yeah, I guess I can see that.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. We've taken enough of Danny's time. Ryan, ask your final question.
That's all right.
All right, I'm gonna ask you the question I ask everybody, and I'll ask Dad actually too. So, Dad, pay attention. If you could steal the keys, so to speak, from anybody's pulling vehicle, past or present, what would you take? Whose tractor would you take and go pulling with it, and where and why?
Any class.
Any class. You don't have to pay the bill if you wreck it. You get the glory if you win. I've rendered him speechless.
Yeah, that's.
Let me go first.
That was a good one.
Well, there's about a 15-second delay between real time and the internet. So you go first, Danny.
Man, that's a tough question. There's a lot of good ones out there.
If you don't have an answer now, I'll find you at Farm Show.
I'd be willing to take the keys to a lot of stuff. I would probably have to say Ross's super stock at Louisville and bury it in the sand like Colin has a few times. That'd be pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Like it.
That would be.
Dad says Joe Eater's mods.
That would be cool.
That's
not the first person to say that either. And coincidentally, you're not the first person to say Colin's tractor either.
Laura Schmucker says Tinker Toy.
My wife's favorite. She always wants to get her done for Tinker Toy. I said, I don't think Masterson's would ever trade that tractor. It's kind of like Rampage. It's staying put. It's not going anywhere. Last winter, we had some offers for it that were pretty high, but it's not for sale.
Amen. You know what? Amen to that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Stay true to yourself.
We had
I like that.
Some very high offers. We'll put it that way. After the truck show.
Thank you. Good.
So. Yep.
Here's a good one. Your buddy from the campgrounds of Bowling Green. If you had an open weekend date and had to choose between two events to go to, what's the most important factor in choosing? Prize money, size of crowd? If just throw NTPA, PPL out the window, Danny. You and Dad have to go to a poll. Are you going for the money or are you going for the crowd? What would be? This is a good one. This William guy, he doesn't drink all the time. It sounds like he's actually thinking right now. So
yeah,
that's a great question, William.
Probably a combination. Prize money aside, it's cool to pull in front of a big crowd. That's why you do it. It's not for the money, obviously. Right. Track conditions, how you're treated at the pool when you get there, that has a lot to do with it. Whether some places make you feel welcome and others, you wonder why you're even there. Probably track conditions and size of crowd. That would be what would draw us to a pool. And
Boy,
like I said,
Cody and I got a show for you out in the northeast corner of Kansas.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, they don't have a class for you, but I guarantee you, if the two of you guys came out, Bill would make one. Yeah,
where's that
show
at?
that
McLeod.
McLeod, Kansas.
Yeah.
Little teeny tiny town, 700, 800 people. And on the day of the show, the crowd swells to about 8,000. And
Really?
it's standing room only, and it's a killer track. And from the second you pull in the driveway, you get treated like royalty.
I
That's
want
great.
to
That's
see
what
their
I like to hear.
rig go in the driveway.
I think they could
That's
do
what
it.
I like
I
to
have
hear.
faith in them. We
Yeah.
got yours down there, dude.
I
You
know,
have
but
300. You have a 300-inch stretch.
318. So
Whatever.
One
And you
one
got
pull
it.
like
And
that
you
comes
got
to
it
mind
parked.
for me. One pull that comes to mind when I think of that is Troy, Missouri. Small little town, small little fair, and a massive crowd. And they pulled till 2 or 3 in the morning. They pulled all night long. Lots of classes.
Yeah, nothing's changed. They still
No.
pull that late.
Yep.
Yep.
Brad Hartman really wants you to come to Evansville.
Maybe someday we will. Dad went there back in the old TNT days, a long time ago. But it's a shame they're the same day. You know, they're both great events, but there's only so many weekends in the summer, and
Yeah.
it's hard to move the date of these fairs. You know, a lot of people get on pull off and say, "Why is this pull this week?" Well, that's when their county fair is, and you can't just up and move your county fair date. It's not that easy.
I'm
No, it's
telling you,
not.
people, it's because that's when the carnival can be there. That's really what determines these fair dates. I've been on the backside, and so have you, Danny.
1,000%.
Yep.
It's those
and
damn
everything.
carnies.
We've tried to move harness racing at our fair, and it's like tractor pulling. You know, if you try to move a pole, you got to find a sled, you got to find a laser guy. You know, just everything. Everybody has a schedule, and it's hard to mess with that. But someday we'll get back
about you
there.
guys coming to Farley. People are pretty excited about you guys coming to Farley. So maybe we'll set up
Mhm.
a little Schmucker autograph session up there on the hill. So
Yeah, we'll be there. Hopefully.
I got to meet this William Lumberg guy. For the record, the week after Pull Town, my doctor says I can't drink for 7 days or I will collapse.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't know if
The
I
fans.
ever had that much fun at Bowling Green.
Yeah, the fans are what make Bowling Green special. So they just they're all in.
For sure.
They're all in.
Danny, what's one track that you've always wanted to pull, but you've never been able to get there? Outlaw,
Hillsborough,
PPL, NTPA.
Hillsborough. Yeah.
I kind of wondered it. I kind of figured you might say that.
That's
Don's
probably,
Don's done a great job promoting that event.
that's probably the one that if we could go somewhere and miss a points pull, that'd probably be one of them we'd try our best to get to. In any pull that a puller is promoting is usually a great event. You know, every time there's a puller promoting it, it's the best. And we've heard nothing but good things about Hillsborough.
It'd be a really, really, really good place to put one over on Robbie and Esden too. Just saying.
Yeah.
I can think of another place you could put one over on them, but I know Farman's in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guarantee us an early dry spring, we'll come.
I wish I
by
could
May
because
18th.
I wish I could because I'd be able to sell that to about 40 of you guys.
Uh-huh.
I know.
No, our dream, Danny, is to have an outdoor Louisville. And we picked our
Yeah.
date, obviously, because we don't want to, conflict with an outlaw
Right.
or a PPL or a NTPA hook. But and we didn't want to
Yeah.
go in the middle of
Oh,
summer.
there's just stuff going on.
Yep. Oh, we found that out last
There's
year
so
with
much
that late
going on.
spring. Yep.
Yeah. No, I hope you guys do well and get good attendance there. It's cool what you guys are trying to do, and
It's growing.
I'm sure
Give us
it'll only get better.
Give us 5 years. Give us 5 years. We'll have that baby. We'll have you figuring out a way to be there, Schmucker. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yep. I promise you. It's just we got to be realistically and grow it and stick with it. So we will.
Yeah. Yep.
Just get Lumberg to side dress corn and just make sure he's not drinking while he does it. And he can watch. We'll even give him a live stream so he can watch.
Yeah. There you go.
I love it.
Yep.
Danny, thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for pulling the pro stock. As a fan, we all wait for the pro stocks. I mean, and diesel supers, those are my two favorite classes. But I mean, we all love pulling across the board, but we know what, I mean, we don't know what it takes to pull at the Grand National level. We can only imagine, and not just the money, the time, the effort, the commitment. It's the highest level of pulling in the world. And thank you for doing that. Thank you for being professional. Thank you for having good running equipment. And we look forward to seeing you at the farm show in about, 2 months, less than 2 months. So.
Yeah, less than 2 months. Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, guys. We appreciate everything you guys do to promote pulling. It's awesome what you guys do and the time you put in and the effort. It does nothing but make the sport better. You know, we enjoy listening to you guys every week. We try to listen to you guys as much as I can.
Cool. Thanks, Danny.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yep. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thanks, bud.
That's awesome. That is good stuff, Mr. Schmucker. Thank you very much for coming on. I need to have Kevin chiming in the comments as well. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kevin, thank you for watching and chiming in. It will not get you off the hook.
No.
We're
he
still
already
looking
said
for you on 4:00 on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I'll let you do that one, buddy.
I'm bummed that was going to be his getting this knocked out was going to be his Christmas gift, and technical difficulties held it up. So I still have like 6 more tapes I still got to run, but I'm going to get that on the way back to them. They'll have it, within the week. So awesome.
2 thumbs up from his dad. So thank you, Kevin Schmucker. Thank you. Thank you for raising a good kid too. Danny's awesome.
Yep, sure is.
William Lundberg. Okay, we got to remember this. I'm going to be in Wisner, but my merchandise trailer is going to be in Bowling Green. I'll have 500 cans of Busch Latte on ice at any time at my campsite in Pulltown, USA. So you guys are more than welcome to stop by and hang. Charles, do you remember that?
Yeah, I'll remember it.
I have a giant cooler. You better have a giant cooler for 500 cans of Busch beer there, kiddo. So that's good stuff. What do you guys, now that Danny's not on the show anymore, but what are your memories of the Rampage and Get Her Done over the years? Ryan, Cody, I know you haven't followed pulling as long as the rest of us have, but just what are some things that jump out? I just always think chance to win every time. That's kind of the first thing. You hear Schmucker and you just think champ. That's kind of where my brain goes.
First time I got to see him was at Louisville. So
okay.
That was what I said. That was the first time I saw him.
That's the same for me. So I aside from having a smoke tube on until 2021, I have zero memory.
Well, that's fair. For
that
where you live.
That and I think I was there the 1 year they went to Gordyville.
Okay.
I think.
Well, you got to see him at Rockwell.
You're right, but they didn't start coming until 21.
Right.
Because I went back and I looked through my photos tonight to try and figure out, so I'd have a few to contribute to the show. I didn't have anything until 21.
I legit do remember the OG, the 30 series that Kevin ran. Seeing it at Louisville and the handful of GNs I could get to in the early 2000s before everything went component. But as far as the family goes, like I said, my honest early memories is meeting Danny through the antique side, through that John Deere A. That's how I got to know them. So that's my memories of those guys.
The one thing I didn't ask is the differentiation of the A to the G. When did that happen? And when did they make that switch and stuff? Because the videos kept saying A, and then he's got a G then sitting in the background.
No, I think the G was
was a wedding present.
Yeah, I think he's one of the first tractors he drove. He said so.
Right, but when did they switch type of thing? And then, because they started out type of thing. That was the first tractor he pulled on.
Yeah, he's still there. Let's find this out.
Yeah, rip it back in, Charles.
He's watching. Yeah.
Yep, there he is. Danny, go ahead, Charles.
So when did you go from the A to the G?
No, G to the A.
G to the A. All right.
G was about the first.
No, I started on the A. That's what I pulled first.
Yep.
I built a 38G in 2010. It's 784 cubic inch. I pull like the Division 3 and 4 NATPA classes.
784 out
G
of
in
an
the
A.
background.
Wait, hold on.
No,
Hold on a
G.
second. Let's
G.
Out
oh,
of the G. Out of
Okay.
the G.
Yeah.
I was
There's
gonna
bigger
go.
ones than
Holy
that.
shit!
Yeah,
There's bigger
784 out
G's
of an
than
A
mine,
would
but
be
it runs pretty
that'd
good.
be impressive.
Well, 784 of a G is no slouch. I've sat on one of Krebs's old, 800 cubic inch G's, and geez, it'll
Yep.
rearrange your insides.
Yeah, we actually have 3 tractors, antique tractors.
What's
Yeah.
the other one that you haven't told us about?
My 38G, it's mine, and then that one I got for the wedding gift is another one, and then my A that I had. when I
Oh,
was
okay. So you guys have
12
two
years
G's
old.
and an A.
Yep, 2 G's and an A.
Got it.
I was gonna sell my 1G, the one that I've had for a long time, but my wife said my kids are growing up. I can't do that. They're gonna want to pull it, so I can't
Is
do
it-
that. I gotta hang on to it. Plus,
Is
I
the
built
big
it.
G light enough where you could run it like Division 4 8 mile an hour?
Yeah, yep. We'll run 5,500 Division 4 8 mile an hour with it.
That's
We'll get it fixed up, and I don't want to sell it. I built that with a close family friend of ours. We lost to lung cancer a few years ago, so there's a little bit of sentimental value there.
for sure. And it's a hell of a ride. Like, I wouldn't
It
say
is.
that
It's
it's ever
fun.
going to be comparable to a pro stock, but it's enough where you got to drive it.
That's
the pro stock, a lot of your decision making is pretty much done, would you say, by the time the clutch is already all the way out, versus
yeah.
a 5
a
mile
lot
an
of it.
hour Division 4, you're still driving it down the track.
That's right. You learn how to set your tractor up, antique pull, and how to drive. I grew up around it. Carlton Cope grew up around it. He still enjoys doing it. We have a lot of fun pulling these things when time allows. It's pulling. As long as it's pulling, it's fun. I don't care if it's stock lawnmowers or unlimited modifieds. If you're having fun with your family and your friends, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you're the Grand National Champion or the local antique club champion. You're having fun and you accomplish something. It should mean a lot to you. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Everybody that's won a Grand National title has started going 3 mile an hour, 2.5, whatever it is, this Division 1 class, farm stock. Very few people have jumped in to a 4,000 plus horsepower pro stock. Even like the Connie team. Julia started pulling farm stock at our local Grange Fair with a 7800 tractor and grew where they are today. And just using that for reference. And like Carlton Cope pulling antiques. There's a lot of people that started with something very slow. So don't ever, if you're pulling something like that, don't let anybody make fun of it, like calling it paint dry or grass grow. Or we've all heard those sayings. If you're having fun and you're learning,
100%.
it means the world to you.
I say that antique pulling, it's not for them, it's for us. If you're in it, if you're doing it, you understand what it's about and you want to be there and you have a ball being a part of it. And yeah, it's as simple as that. It's not for them, it's for us.
The funny part is I have a picture on the screen that editing with local Bedford pull, Ryan. One of the pullers, it was this kid's first time driving, and that was a thing that they got him in. It was a friend of theirs, pullers, let him drive their tractor. And that was his first time pulling, and that was pretty cool to watch. Dad down the track, and the guys helping back him in, and it just kind of gives you chills a little bit. I bet when you see some of that, knowing that's where you started and how you got going.
I know exactly the photo you're talking about. Ain't nobody told him that pulling is a dying sport. He didn't get that memo.
No.
Yeah, one of the first memories I have from antique pulling, I was 11, 12 at the Decal Super Pull in Columbus, Ohio. I got 42nd out of 47, I believe. I was happier than hell because Photo Joe was there and took my picture. That was cool.
Nice.
I still have it too.
I love that.
That's good stuff.
That was that the only pull indoor that was 3 tracks wide?
At that time, it was only 1 track, but at one time they had 3. Yes, before they moved out of that arena or that facility. Yeah. Yep.
That thing blew up.
Yep.
seen plenty of video, got plenty of video in my collection. Never got to make it there and see it in person, and I feel like it was a missed opportunity. It was
a good pool they had there.
Yeah,
back in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
that was fun. They had a lot of stuff there.
Hey, Danny, what's your favorite pulling T-shirt or pulling hat? Do you have any old classics that you love to wear, or you got as a kid, or not as a kid, or anything like that? Any memorable stuff?
Come on, we know you rock an old Enderly hat somewhere.
I still have my Sneaky Snake and Shotgun Red T-shirt when I was a little kid.
Nice.
I still have that. And if you dig deep enough, you could probably find my Road Farmer shirt. You all remember that?
Wow.
Like it. That's awesome.
But I could find it.
That's cool. Well, sorry to drag you back in here. We're just
That's all right. I just enjoy listening to you guys.
Yeah.
Well, careful. The last guy that we dragged in here was on for another hour, and his wife won't talk to any of us yet.
Oh, that's all right. Mine's at home watching. You see, she chimed in a minute ago.
Oh, I know, and so was Megan when we dragged Brent back on.
Yeah,
she might have signed off, but then she thought, well, shoot, he'll be back home here shortly. He's done.
She's used to it. We're usually at the shop till 11 or 12 every night doing something. So,
Laura, we're sorry. We'll let him go now.
Hang out. No, yeah. That's all right. We spent all day yesterday together. She's probably tired of it.
Yeah.
Here, I'm on the NTPA Facebook page. Here's Ship, guys. This is your Saturday win. Hold on. Come on, Jason. 2021. Yeah, this has been last year's win.
Yep.
Charles, can you dig up his Matt trailer run last year?
I'll try.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was. I watched that on the live stream. Here we go. Here is your win list. Your share system audio. Boom. And for those of you that are wondering, this is the same place as the Midwest Winter Nationals coming up in a couple weeks, January 12th through the 14th. And then the NTPA shows in into March, I want to say.
Mid-March.
Right.
Mid-March. Here we go. But here's Danny at Ship last year. What'd you think of Cloverdale? Did you miss Cloverdale, Danny?
I like Cloverdale. It was a good Louisville tune-up. You got you out. Knocked the rust off everything, and made you get back into pulling. We always did pretty well. It was like Gordyville. It was going to be really cold.
Yeah,
but it was always a good Louisville tune-up. There you go.
Go ahead, Charles.
We're lacking audio on this side.
Cody, just make the tractor noises.
I don't think you want to hear that.
Did you guys catch
the tunnel a little bit further and going uphill?
Did you guys catch what happened when you take off?
What's that?
Watch John Mears in the background. The little half step he takes, like, oh yeah, he's going.
Yeah.
Like John knew you were going.
I was probably afraid he was going to get run over by the scraper guy. Them guys moved on. You got to watch out. They keep things moving.
Maybe it was reflex on his part. I mean, he used to drive like he knew. Like, yeah, all right,
oh, yeah. Yep.
This is where we go.
Yep. Like Jason knows when you have a good start and you got a good run going, you know it.
It feels good.
You know by 150 feet, if you're going to get there or not.
It feels good.
Yep.
What does that translate to in Louisville distance? Because, I mean, 150 feet in Louisville, you're 2/3 of the way done with your pass.
Yeah. It all happens so fast at Louisville. I don't know. It happens quick down there. You need to know, but you usually know by about 50. I mean, it happens really quick. You know. And it's hard to hear sometimes. I mean, the noise echoes in the pipe, and it happens quick. So I tell everybody the first time there, enjoy it.
Yep. Something about a pro stock indoors just makes a difference. It just sounds different. It sounds awesome.
That's like when you guys asked me which vehicle you'd like to drive. I almost said Carlton Cope's Warpath, but I'd probably run out of fuel because I'd be sitting there at the starting line just listening to it. I'd sit there revving up, and I'd run out of fuel.
Yeah, we all would too.
Yeah, I wouldn't even get halfway down the track. I'd be empty.
You have to move some weight back because you're gonna put extra fuel in, Danny.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Yep.
Just run it up to about 4,000 RPM. Just sit and listen.
And just sit there and listen to it.
Just listen to it sing.
Yep. For sure.
Good.
Is your tractor a back tanker? Is that front tank just the water?
Yeah. The front tank's fuel, and then there's a water tank underneath the intercooler.
Okay.
It used to be water out front, but it's fuel now. There's not much room for all that stuff. I mean, the ice box is huge. The intercoolers get bigger. When we first built that new tractor, 7920 sheet metal, we had tons of room under the hood. You know, we would have liked to have kept it a 4430 or 4455 or something, but you have to make the hood so big it would have looked funny. But they're full under there. There's not much room for anything. And we're starting to get to the point when we start building things, worry about weight. I mean, you'd never think that on a pro stock tractor, but as much weight as we need on the front end anymore, you got to start thinking about lightening things up on the back end.
You guys are a hard front, is that right? You're not running an air ride?
Nope, never had one.
Is it a weight concern? Does that play into it for you guys?
No, we just never put one on. I'll never say never, but it's working the way it is, so I hate to fool with it.
What was your first? You said 11 was the first championship?
Yes. Yep. 11.
I'm going to go digging through the NTPA archives here. Give me a second, see what I can find from those days.
You talk about the hood type of thing. We were just talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about having to raise the 30 series sheet metal because they didn't have enough room for the turbo to sit underneath it. So they had to raise it up, like, I don't remember, it was a couple inches or something, just so they could get it stuck underneath there.
Yeah.
And
I remember.
Then they changed turbos, and they couldn't use the same sheet metal again.
Yep. I remember our 4430 days. Adjusting the valves was a big deal because we had to pull the hood and the turbo off just to get to the valve cover because everything was so tight under there. And that turbo was a heck of a lot smaller than what we use today. It wouldn't fit today. I mean, we'd have to have a bubble in the hood or oversized sheet metal or something to just.
Cody, I presume that was probably Lauren.
What's that?
I don't remember who it was we were talking to that was telling us that.
Danny, 14 was your second championship?
12.
12. What was the second one?
11, 12, 14, and 22.
Okay, yeah. NTPA's Facebook page isn't jamming back in 11 and 12 yet, so I'm going to jump onto 14 here.
Yeah, it's funny how much of that plays into everything. Like I look at, Capozzo's Cruel Intention Super Farm, that's the cast chassis Lemke Pro Stock, and 4020 is how they badge it, but it's actually a factory 7020 hood. Looks right, but it's big. And even with the small block, they're using up all the room, even as Super Farm underneath all there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a 7020 hood. I learned something tonight.
Yes, it is. And it was from Lemke's when they got it.
Yep.
Here, another fun fact about that tractor: the gray paint on the frame, that is BMW M Gray.
Nice.
I knew you'd like that.
That's something that only I would nerd out on.
Yeah.
Where'd the name for the tractors come from? I don't know if we've talked about that yet.
Well, Rampage, Dad thought of that back when he bought the first tractor in '81, and Get Her Done came when we bought that tractor from the Schrammick family. We actually have an inside name on Get Her Done. If you look at it closely, and you cover up the G and the I and the U and the N, tell me what it says. That's what we call it.
Goddamn.
It says turd.
Turd.
That's what we call it. That's its name in the shop.
There's I know of plenty of pro stocks who have an alternate name.
Yeah, alter ego, Charles.
Yes.
Probably not G rated though.
No.
Not usually.
Yeah.
Now we've had Tony Reed on the show, so I don't know if we're exactly G rated.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
actually
I'm, sure
I'm
that
curious.
Exciting.
I'm curious how far back in time Sneaky Snake's alter ego name goes. Maybe you know it from way back in the day.
Sneaky Snake started back in probably the mid '80s when John Lorenz had it.
Yep, it did. It's got another name. I'm curious how far back the other name goes, though.
I don't know.
It's not.
I think it's pretty safe to say that the four of us don't know it.
I'll text it to you. I'm not going to say it on the show. It's not
fair enough.
Yeah. Yep.
Schultz is passing again.
I found the 15.
Schmucker won his family's third Grand National Pro Stock Championship in 4 years, in 2014 with Rampage. The season started out rough, but ended the best it could, Danny said of his 32-point comeback. One of the early season challenges Danny weathered was, well, the weather. If it wouldn't have rained at home at least once.
Where's this at, Danny? Do you remember that? You recognize that pool?
Enderley.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, that looks like the Enderley.
That's Enderley.
If it wouldn't have rained at home, at least one of us would have had to stay home from Hutchinson to Plant. Pump failure and a last place at Troy led to another decision point. Keep chasing hard with Rampage or concentrate on Team Tractor Get Her Done Deer. Faith in Rampage was rewarded as the tractor finished no worse than third only 3 times after Troy. Twin runner-up finishes at Bowling Green earned Danny some jewelry, but also got him within 12 points of leader Robbie Lemke. The succeeding week of Hudsonville, Wellington, and home county Canton saw a third, first, and second to set up a one-day, 2-hook showdown in Sandwich. With 2 second-place finishes, Danny gained 4 points on the New Generation Plus to win. Please welcome to the stage your 2014 NTPA Grand National Champion, Pro Stock Division, Mr. Danny Schmucker.
Boy, what would it sound like? What would it sound like if Alan Washburn? What would it sound like if Alan Washburn recorded bios for all of us like that?
He's good, isn't he?
He's so good.
He's so good
Yep.
at it.
When we first had our poll at Canton, I asked him if he'd come announce it. He goes, "Sure, I would." And we got him here. A couple of people asked me, "How did you get that guy to come clear over here?" I said, "I just asked him." And he's been here every year since.
Oh man, that's awesome.
He's classic. It's classic.
Was it your show where you had a light pro roll like last year?
No.
Where was that?
Fort Recovery.
Fort Recovery.
Was it at the fort?
Yeah.
We had a mini roll one time, but never had a light pro.
Yeah, I remember
John Deere,
Alan
right?
was on the. It was a Deere.
Yeah, Fort Recovery.
And I remember Alan. he just I don't know if it was he went on autopilot or if it was the situation he trained for his entire life. But oh my God, the man just so calm, cool, collected, told everybody what to do, told people to shut up when they needed to shut up and let the emergency crew do what they needed to do. It was amazing.
Yep, he's good.
Yeah,
Very good. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Mike. It might have even been your video of it, Mike, that I remember seeing because it had Alan's voice was so crystal clear.
Yeah, Mike has a lot of good videos and pictures. We appreciate all of them, especially his oldies he's been sharing lately, because a lot of them are from our county fair. So it's really cool to see that old stuff. That stuff I remember growing up.
And you guys, that's cool for everybody that, there's a lot of people doing social media now. Share your stuff. Our heroes are watching. Okay. If that didn't make Mike Maxwell's night, that Danny Schmucker watches his stuff and is thankful for that. I mean, that's why we do what we do, guys. So everybody keep it up. There's a lot of people doing a lot of good stuff.
And there's a lot of neat stuff like that. And you guys on Facebook, there's a lot of negative social media, but there's a lot of really, really cool stuff that you can learn and enjoy too. You just got to put the political stuff behind you and not pay attention to any of it. Everything you guys do and all the polling social media is awesome. It's neat to see this time of year. On a cold, snowy day, you can look at videos and pictures and think, won't be long. We'll be doing that again.
Yep.
Run.
Yep.
Well, I want to go to bed. So I love you guys. But I appreciate this a lot, Danny. And
thank you guys.
Okay. Final. Any more questions for Danny Schmucker?
None.
No.
I love it.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Danny.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks for
guys.
coming back on.
Yep. Anytime, guys. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Danny.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.
Charles, final thoughts.
To do a show with Alan would be a pipe dream. That would be awesome.
He will come on.
Nobody could tell you apart.
And it would be so fun.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
It would be a riot. I've met him. I've had an opportunity to chat with him a few times.
Alan will come on the show, Charles. Do you want Alan on the show? You want him on Let's Go Pulling?
Yeah, let's talk to him. I think.
I talked to him at the banquet. He'll do it.
Yeah, to work a show with him, that would just be, that would be special.
I'll work on that for next week. Witt said he'll come on talk Louisville. We have to keep pumping Midwest Winter Nationals. So I mean that's very, very important. We need to fill that place up for Tucker. So yeah, I think we're good. But yeah, January 12th through the 14th, guys, Midwest Winter Nationals, Shipshewana, Indiana. Jesse Post is starting to put his cool countdowns up on What's Smoking Promotions. The live stream is there as well. Zolik has done an amazing job with that website, you guys. The tickets are there. They're for sale. I think, Charles, they're full they're not taking more registration at this time, are they? I
don't think so. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say not. I don't know that 100% for fact, but I think we're pretty well loaded for Bear.
Okay. Big Rig. They're the Power Ranking show this Thursday is Big Rig Semis.
Yep.
And I'm very, very proud. I mean, Charles, you spearheaded this, but it's so cool to see Wyatt Schulte and Shane Hunt grabbing it.
I told with it. And you know this, I told them, I said, I was so happy to see you guys kind of like take the bull by the horns and run with this deal. And they have. And I'm at a point where I'm comfortable in my career. Like I'm not afraid of anybody. Like we need young people coming in behind us and to teach the next generation coming up. And I'm so happy to see those two really take to this role and grow with it. And want to see them do more. I can't do everything. I can't be everywhere. if they're good and they're going to show that that enthusiasm and be well spoken about it, I'm all about it. I love it.
Yep, I agree. They're doing a nice job. I got a couple ideas for them, but we'll talk about that off the air. So it's all good. It's all good. Cody, what's going on in your world, buddy? Let's wrap it up.
Working on pictures still. We'll see about ship, whether we make that or not. But don't forget TPC initial invites.
Yes.
Are coming due. Get those if you haven't accepted that. Make sure you get that done before it goes to fan votes.
Yes, sir. Roos?
Cooking a brisket for Christmas in 30, 40 below wind chills. That sucks. Even if the brisket kicked ass, and it did. I'm not going to lie. I got real lucky on this one, but
I'll trade you
was cold.
I'll trade you chopping waters.
No, you can have chopping waters.
Yeah.
How many people were at the house, Roos?
15 or 16. I forget which. I've still got brisket left over, but Corey and Tanner from Farm for Profit have first dibs on that. They're coming over tomorrow night. We're putting together a couple of plans for a couple of things for next year, maybe, or the year after.
Hey, those Augers Out people, where are they from? I've been seeing some posts on Beer Money, the group. Where are they from?
Augers Out is a group of people from all over the place, and we all kind of came together to grieve the loss of one of our dear friends. Bryce Volker was a dear friend of ours and an auctioneer with Speckman out in Nebraska. And he also started the 30 to 70 series John Deere Facebook group and grew it from, one person to, I think it's got close to 40,000 members now.
Awesome.
And he was a dear friend, and the Augers Out thing was something that he would have done. He was never too busy to help a friend in need or help someone he didn't know in need. He was a quiet but a very powerful voice in Midwestern and specifically in Southwest or Southeast Nebraska ag. And this is something that he would have done. And when he passed away in it was the day of the Mack Trailer Nationals in 2020. He lost a battle with COVID. So this was started to help him. But Ken and Leanne are kind of spearheading that. And they're from a couple hours north of Charles, or an hour north of Charles.
Okay. I'm going to start sharing that stuff around more. I've been meaning to ask you.
Ken Glembieski's behind that now?
Yeah, he and Leanne started that.
Okay, I didn't realize how instrumental Ken was. Ken's a half hour away from me.
Yeah. Ken's a character. He's good shit. Is as good as it comes.
The first diesel tractor I ever pulled was his 4320.
Yep.
Yeah. Ken and I go back a long way.
And Ken and I do not go back a long ways, but the little ways that we have was significant. Within the first 5 minutes of meeting Ken for the first time in person, we did a shot in Andrew's honor. I sent you video of it. You saw it, Charles.
Yeah, I did. Yes.
In the parking lot of a Holiday Inn Express.
Yep, you're right. I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, in southeast Nebraska.
Yep.
Well,
second John Deere I ever pulled, but first diesel was his.
That's awesome. Well, shout out to Danny
good
Schmucker
peeps.
again. That was a great interview tonight, guys. It's nice to have big time pullers on the show like this. It's fun to tell their story and let the fans hear that, and wish them nothing but good luck at Louisville. Again, upcoming pulls that we're promoting January 12th through the 14th, Shipshewana, Indiana, the Midwest Winter Nationals. The following weekend, January 19th to the 21st, is they're having their first indoor truck pull. WW Promotions is putting that on in Lebanon, Missouri. And then they're going to run some garden tractors and some mini rod Saturday during the day. And then we fast forward to Zoet, Florida, February 3rd through the 4th, and then the farm show. Is it the 15th through the 18th of February? And we're going to start putting some stuff out next week about a big announcement. Has nothing to do with the PPL. This is bigger than that. That's going to be announced at the farm show the Thursday afternoon. Something's going on that we're helping with that as well. So I'll start talking about that next week a little bit. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. I'm going to work on you, Mr. Alan Washburn, for next Monday night for Let's Grow Pulling, so Charles can talk with him. Bruce, you had something?
Yeah, before we go, thank you to all the folks who lopped in questions and comments tonight. There were some really, really good questions. Yeah. We love seeing those. It makes our job easier.
Yes.
You know, getting some of these great questions out there, and getting these pullers to think. Put it as a feather in your cap if you can stump one of them on one of those. What would you do if, or what was your this or that or the other thing? Those are great questions, and we don't think of them all. I mean, I've got a notebook here. I write down questions for every interview. I missed a half dozen of great questions tonight. So I'm glad that some of you guys asked them, and we would encourage you, please keep those up. You don't have to send them to us. Throw them in the comments. We see all those. We pop them on the screen, and we get people to answer them. So if you've got a question you want to ask, if you know, one of these burning things you've always wanted to know, hell yeah, throw it in the comments. Let's find out.
Stump the Staff is always a fun game to play.
Right.
I love it. All right. For those of you who want to stick around, I'm going to play all of the Schmucker videos that we had lined up tonight for the show again. So probably about another 3 to 5 minutes, but I'll let the guys go. Have a great night. Tomorrow night.
Happy New Year, guys.
Tuesday night is Outlawed with Ron Stone at 7 o'clock. Wednesday night, we do our West Coast show. And then Thursday night will be Power Rankings. Have a great night, guys. Let's grow pulling.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Stand by right here. We have a gentleman from West Germany. We have a gentleman from Brazil, and one from Switzerland. Those are the top 3 spots right now. We're trying to break the tie in a moment. Let's get back to the competition right now. On the starting line, Butch, back to you. Okay, Jerry Rosinski on the starting line right here. Driving the tractor, Harold Green. This is Garrett. I don't know what's going on right here. Garrett, lost the rotator. All right, watch the smoke. Now it's going to turn green. Water. Now, horsepower.
Dairy farmer. He's pulled an Ohio State circuit. We hope his wife doesn't get too excited back there in the infield. But they're radioing back to tell her how he's doing. Here he is. Let's help this gentleman along. Tractor called Rampage.